is here. It's big. And it's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino.
Hey everyone, hello and welcome to another episode of Live at the Bike. Little snap back there, Dave. Right snap. My name's Bart Hanson, I'm here with Dave Tuckman. Of course, Live at the Bike is the only webcast of real action cash game poker straight out of LA. Tonight we're going to be going back to our roots, going to be doing 300 to 500, restricted buy-in, no limit hold'em. Buying for a minimum of 300, maximum of 500. You can bring your stack anytime back up to 500, Dave. It's usually the biggest and best restricted buy-in game around in town. The blinds are only 5 and 5.
Yeah, it's a really good game.
You can really play real poker right off the bat. Yeah. Unlike other restricted buy-in games, you really got to work your way out.
Exactly.
Into the blind size. So let's head over to the table and let's start another night of this stuff.
I mean, the game is definitely big enough to make some real money. That's for sure. Well, let's introduce these players. In seat number 1, we've got that is Chuck?
Eric.
That's actually Eric, okay. I was looking at, it didn't look like a Dennis or Chuck.
That's because I gave you the wrong...
Thank you. There we go.
Lineup. There you go. Yeah.
That's Eric. Seat number 2, we've got Gus. And most people are familiar with Live at the Bike are familiar with Gus.
Yep.
And seat number 3, we've got Dave. Dave is one of those card sharks guys.
That's right. We're going to talk about that all night long.
Seat 4 is Thomas, also card sharks guy.
Yep.
Seat 5 is Kyle. Kyle's pretty tight and pretty solid.
No, it's bad beat again.
Familiar face. Seat 6, we haven't seen this guy in quite a while, and that's Sylvester.
Yep.
Man, I had a pair of aces too.
Seat number 8 is Ron. Ron wants us to call him Donkey. I'm going to have a problem with that all night, but I think we'll call him Ron at
Seat
least.
number 7. Seven comes after 6.
Right. Thank you. I'm very slow like that. Seat number 8, we've got Francois.
Now you know what it's like.
And seat number 9, that's Sam.
Yeah, and we're going to actually go by Ron probably throughout the
I think
show,
so.
But he is another Card Sharks person.
Oh, is he another one? Okay, so we have 3 card sharks.
Check out
guys.
cardsharks.com, spelled out, CARDSHARX.com. Check it out. As always, if you want to keep the show interactive, you can email us at liveatthebike.com. Questions, comments, suggestions. You can also follow a live thread. Start over there on good old 2+2. Go to 2plus2.com, spelled out. Head over to the forum section. Look under Tournament Poker, World Poker Tour, etc. And official Live at the Bike thread for March 21. So you get into the first hand of the night here. Gus is going to raise here on the button to $21 with Ace 10. And seat 8 is in the hand, but we cannot see Francois' cards. What else is new? Flop comes out Queen, Jack 8 with a couple clubs. And Francois actually has the same hand as Gus. Both players have Ace 10. Goes check on the flop. Returns to 4 of hearts. And now Francois is going to come out and lead. Gus checked behind him. And he says 1 pair, but he actually has Ace 10 offsuit. There we go. Interesting that Gus, he plays it pretty loose from up back there. But sometimes for some reason, he doesn't bet. Ace 10, I mean, you could see worse flops for that. Check 2 heads up. He's got a gut shot, got an overcard.
You gotta love poker players. Born liars. Francois looks at him straight in the eyes and goes, 1 pair. And then Gus looks him right back in the eyes and goes, what, Ace King's no good?
Big question is, and again, I really like Francois' play, is he going to act like a normal human being, like the age that he is, 25 at the table? Sometimes he acts like a 3-year-old out there. He's got Ace King out there, over there in seat 8. And he's going to raise. Ace of clubs, King of spades, big slick offsuit. There it is. He's going to bring it in for 25. And he's going to take it down here. And sometimes this game starts a little bit tight. Players start to feel each other out a little bit.
Should be a good game, though.
Yeah, we're playing with 5 blinds, 5 in the small, 5 in the big, and the yellow chips are $5 chips. If you see purples, which sometimes enter this game, they're 25 quarters. White chips or blue chips, excuse me, are little $1 tokens. If you see white chips, they're hundreds.
Right.
5-5, no limit, 300
So
to 500.
you have been an absolute fire lately. Not only obviously killing the no limit hold'em games here at the bike, but your big tournament win on Sunday. Man, it's like I touch you, I burn my hands. Absolute in fuego you are.
Probably the makings for probably my best month ever.
Yeah, I imagine.
Yeah.
The pressure one?
Button's going to move over here to seat number 4. And that is Thomas over there. He's got just about 500 in front of him.
But the couple times that it did bother me for whatever reason, I don't know, my system or whatever.
And Sylvester's in the big blinds here. In seat number 6, small blind, seat 5. Kyle. We've seen Kyle on the show many times before.
Yeah, seat 6 with 6s.
I'll always remember that check behind with trip 6s against Kyle, Dave.
Yeah.
Several months ago. Limped around here, looks like we're going to see 5-way action, but Sylvester's going to raise it up out of the big blind. He's got pocket 6s, like you said, out of seat 6. He's going to make it 40 more.
Wow, okay.
That's one way of playing it, trying to pick up the dead money. Some people might just check there. Looks like he's going to take it down.
Wow.
And we have not. Yeah, we're going to see 2 non-flops in a row
It's
here.
just like swiping your card, except you don't have to swipe your card.
Again, Dave, last night,
Yeah.
we didn't really have a hiccup with the stream. We just kind of lost our internet connection in the casino for a little bit. That's why we went down.
Yeah, it was kind of
For
weird.
about 15 minutes. But Garo has assured me
I just got it fixed.
I'd like to withdraw.
nothing like that's going to happen.
Nothing like that will happen.
Here, we made this just for him.
Sweet.
Guaranteed.
Button's going to move over here to seat 5.
It's weird. Sometimes that happens at home. For some random reason, I'll have no internet connection. I have no idea why.
Yeah, the teeth and short.
There was actually a big fire down the street from my house a couple months ago that I lost my cable connection.
Really?
Which was my internet, my broadband,
Right.
for about 2 weeks. Luckily, I had DirecTV.
Oh,
I could
man.
live without internet, but not TV.
No TV and no internet.
Yes. Glad that I have 2 different providers for those 2 very important, essential elements in my life. Limped around here 4 ways, so it's going to be a $20 pot. And the flop comes up 10-9 deuce here.
A couple players have 9s.
Yeah, looks like Sylvester has got a 9, and Gus has the best hand here with queen 9. And seat 9 here, Sam bet with... actually, Sam's got a 10, and he's going to bet with top pair, and Gus is going to call with queen 9. Turns an ace, and Sam is still in the lead here with 8-10.
Yeah, Ron is no longer in the hand. There we go.
And seat 9's going to bet again. He's going to bet, looks like 35 here, and I don't think Gus is going to get involved here.
No. Not much you can beat there.
I really like Gus's game. Sometimes, like a lot of other players, he can do some things peculiar. You know?
I always wonder if he really hams it up for the show.
Right. But this is his game. This is his, you know.
But this is his bread and butter.
Yep.
And it's funny, I mean, this used to be your bread and butter, this game. This was your favorite game here.
Well,
And
I
then,
mean,
and
it
then
used to
obviously,
be, but I never really had the opportunity to play a
Play it
lot
as
of No
much,
Limit
right.
Hold'em, except for the last, say, 3 or 4 months, and I've been playing it pretty much exclusively full time.
well, I mean, I really think you can win a lot of money in this game.
Oh, yeah.
The game plays
I mean,
big. I mean, there was one time I played on the show, and I actually played this game.
Right.
I think I won like 1,700 in the span of like 3 hours.
I talk to a lot of people that sometimes move up to the 5-10 when the game is really good. A guy like a Boston, if people are familiar. And they say, you know, you put in 30, 40 hours a week, you can come up 10, 15 grand ahead in a month. And you're kind of hedging your risk as opposed to the 5-10 game where you might buy in for 1,500.
You I still
starting with
maintain
5 here.
I probably figure if you play this game full time,
Yeah.
and you were a top player, I think you probably beat this game for about 5 grand a month, 6 grand a month on average.
I think it might be more than that.
You think so on average?
Seat number 3, Dave's going to bring it in for a raise, and we are not going to see a flop.
Yeah, I really do. I mean, even with your, I mean, obviously you're going to lose some days too.
I think that you could. I think you can make $500 a day in this game if you're really good on average.
Okay.
Again, I talk about it like today in the 5-10, wink, wink. I actually was up real quick, Dave, to about 3,500. And I got moved over to a very aggressive table poker where the stacks were really deep. Sometimes
Right.
I actually want to get out of that game and feel a little uncomfortable. If I go broke, well now, instead of being up about 2,200, I'm down 1,300 where I started.
Right.
But in this game, if you build your stack up, you're only starting from 500. So kind of hedge the risk.
And also, oftentimes, if you're in this game with 3,500,
Yeah.
you have to really be up against the one guy who might hurt you. I mean, it's really hard to get really hurt in this game.
Gus is going to raise here with queen 9 of spades from up front. Francois calls with 10s in the small blind. And it looks like seat 9 is in the big blind. He makes the call. He's got the 8-9 offsuit.
He's in bad shape there with 8-9, obviously, badly dominated.
Got about a $60 pot here going to the flop.
Well, you know what? Not a bad flop for 8-9.
Sam's open-ended. King 6-7. Francois staring at one overcard on the board, and Gus is pretty much whiffed on this flop.
One of those times if Sam shows any aggression with his draw here, he'll probably take it down.
Well, it gets checked around, and now Francois is going to bet, but as we can see, 8-9 has made this nut straight. And he's going to raise Francois now.
Yeah, right away he's going to raise it up.
Francois bet 50, kind of a little tester bet. Seat 9's going to make it 150, and I think that Francois is a good enough player to easily get away from 10s here.
Yeah, I mean, you got to just think, you gave this guy a free card. He could have easily had 6-5, could easily have 7-5. Hey, this guy, who knows, I haven't really seen him play, he could be in there with king 5.
You could also have flopped a pretty big hand like a set or 2 pair intending to check raise Gus, and it didn't come, it got checked around.
Yeah.
It's good for the game.
And Francois.
And they all say, show the bluff, it's good for the game. And he does not show.
Dave, I want to tell everybody kind of a new thing over at liveatthebike.com, our website.
What is it?
We got little commentator bios up. Check it out. Yours is kind of funny.
What are you talking about? I actually did not write that. Well, I partaked in a little bit, I guess.
Yeah. Button's going to move over here to seat number 8. Look at this. Someone's already posted up a hand that you got involved with Roswell, Matt, on 2+2 here. Maybe a month back when he ended up, I guess, folding bottom set. If anyone checks that out, you can click on Demon Deek's thread link. And Dave never told me what he had in that hand.
I had top set.
I don't believe you.
See, the funniest thing is when people finally ask me, they go, what do you have? And I try to tell them, they don't believe me anyway. So I go, you know what, why am I telling you?
Seat number 7 here is going to raise with ace-5 here. He's going to make it 50, Dave.
Make a rebuy.
That's wrong. I'm trying to pick up some dead money here. Ace-rag. A couple limpers in front. And it looks like everybody's going to fold here. Thomas limped in with an ace-8 of diamonds. And he's not going to get involved, and no one's going to get involved.
No, again, starting out a little bit tight. Kind of a feel-out part of the show.
Dave, I'm going to tell you something else here.
Yeah.
You can check out Live at the Bike MySpace page. We got a couple things up over there. I think you can do a search on Live at the Bike.
Well, if you go to liveatthebike.com, actually, on the left-hand side, we have a ways to contact us.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool.
Button's going to move over here to seat number 9.
Since Bart is done bragging about his Omaha tournament win on PokerStars on Sunday night, I will brag for him. I think, hey, anytime you win a tournament, any tournament, it's impressive. And Bart had won first place, $200 buy-in Omaha tournament on Sunday night over at PokerStars.
Now, I got to tell you, I wish I could say that there was a lot of skill, ending up in first place as opposed to 10th place, but there really wasn't. The way the blinds
But
went
there's
up
skill
and
to get to 10th place.
Yeah, there is. And then, there's luck to win first. So you just got to give yourself the opportunity. That's like any other live tournament. We were talking about why so many people chop in a live tournament. And especially if anybody missed the show, I was talking about how for about an hour on the final table, nobody got knocked up. The chips were just getting moved around in a split pot game, and the blinds just kept going up every, whatever it is, 15, 20 minutes or something. And it was,
well, often a lot of good tournament players, they talk about playing well enough to put themselves in a position to get lucky.
You buy it for $500.
Button's going to move over here to seat number 1. Limp here by Kyle with King Queen offsuit. Seat 5.
When he plays the big game, I played 10 quarters a week ago. This is the money.
And Eric is going to raise it up. Now, Eric has moved up recently, Dave. He's been playing a lot of 5-10, the game that I'm usually in. And
Eric, right?
Yeah, Eric. You know, he's a pretty good player. I think, obviously, like some other people, there are some leaks in his game. Kyle makes the call here with King-Queen, and we're going to see a flop here. Well, Eric's got a nice flop. He's picked up the nut flush draw with an overcard.
Now, this is not a terrible flop for Kyle either. He's got a gut shot with the overcards, with the King of Hearts.
Plus the King of Hearts.
Obviously, he doesn't know that he's in bad shape with hearts, though.
Eric is going to bet here 50, and he's going to take it down. There you go.
Now, you'll see Eric play a little more aggressive in this game. Does Eric play that aggressive in the 5-10 game?
Well, you know, I kind of saw him. I saw on Friday night player Brian. Anyone? He's been on the show a few times.
Brian Lee?
Yeah, Asian gentleman who's really. I have a lot of respect for his game when he's not tilting. It was really obvious.
It's so funny too.
It was really obvious that Eric had pocket kings and that he didn't like an ace on the flop, and Brian just kept driving at him. And I could pretty much, an astute player could pretty much call out what was going on. But Eric just didn't want to get involved.
Right. Tough though, sometimes you got to pick your spots. I was actually having a conversation with Mo last night, and I'll get into it right after this hand.
From somewhere I didn't know if it made
Limp here. Sam's got a little suited connector over there in seat 9. And Eric is going to raise here with Queen Jack suited. I got a new love for this hand, Dave. He's going to raise. And we talked about it's a trap hand the call raises for to hit a pair. But if you hit a Broadway straight against a pre-flop raiser that came in with a legitimate hand, it most likely hit them big in the manner of ace-king, some sort of set.
Yeah, now 8-9 is obviously a little bit more dangerous. Because if you hit the bottom end of the straight, like a 10-Jack-Queen straight in a raised pot, you could be in a lot of trouble.
Sam is called here with 8-9, and both players miss. And look at Sam. He's going to kind of make a little bluff bet out of here. And Eric is not going to get involved.
Well, that's a nothing flop for Queen Jack.
Yeah.
Now, it's interesting. Obviously, all good poker players. I mean, I would recommend any poker player to find somebody that they talk and discuss hands with. Obviously, that's what the 2+2 form is all about.
Right.
And Mo and I, we've been over the last couple of months really, throwing hands back and forth at each other. And I think as my game has improved, and he has more respect for my game now, he actually asked my advice. And it was interesting. He had a hand with Corporation Mike the other day, and he wanted to know how I would play it. And basically the way it went was Corporation Mike had raised it up, and Mo re-raised him with kings. Mike called, and it's heads up between him and Corporation Mike, and the pot was about $600. The flop came out ace, rag, rag. Mike checked to him. And the first question was, Mo said, "What would you bet, Dave?" The pot 600. No, I'm sorry, the pot was 1,200. What would you bet? We'll get to it here in a second.
Going to see a raise here by seat 9. He's got ace-5 offsuit. He's going to bring it in for 25. Let's see what Eric does with the ace-jack offsuit to his immediate left. He's going to make the call. Dave on the button's got pocket 9s here. He's probably going to at least call. $25 over to him. And he does call. Thomas has got a nice little suited connector there in the small blind. He's not going to play it. Looks like he's deep enough. Chooses not to get involved. And we are going to see three-way action here for about a $75 pot. Queen, Jack, 5. Well, Eric's got the best hand here with ace, Jack. Sam's going to continue on. He hit bottom pair. He's going to bet 30. Let's see if Eric's going to get involved here with somebody to act after him. He does. And we've got about a $130 pot going to the turn. The turn's top pair pairs queen. And Sam's going to bet again. And Eric kind of looked bewildered at that, but I don't necessarily know, that might get him more involved with the hand.
It's always funny when somebody calls the flop on that kind of board, then the top pair pairs, and they go, oh, now I'm scared, I'm going to throw it away.
Well, obviously, Eric can't beat an overpair here, kings or aces, and Sam has fired. Well, he's only bet 50 here, Dave, into, again, about a $130 pot, so not really a big bet.
And Sam's in terrible shape, obviously. He needs a 5 and only a 5 to win this hand.
An ace would actually chop it up, wouldn't it?
An ace?
Yep. Aces and queens with a jack would play.
Right, thank you, yes. Yeah. You're 100% correct.
And Eric is thinking about it. Again, it's a $50 bet here on the turn. And Eric's going to lay it down.
I'm trying to think, why was it 9%? There's only 2 5s left. It said 9% chance for Sam to win. I'm trying to figure out another way for Sam to win without a 5. Oh, with only 2 outs, he should have been 5%. Right? I mean, normally if you have a set, right? Let's say let's say I have a pocket pair, but I need to hit my set to win it. With 1 card to come, I've got a 5% chance of hitting that card. There was 9%. I'm trying to figure out why with 9%. Kind of bewildered there.
Pocket aces over here in C1. Well, if you do that little rule of thumb, which you're talking about multiplying the outs on the turn by 4 and on the river by 2, if you had 2 outs by that rule of thumb, it would be 10%. But I think you're right. It is kind of closer.
No, it's 2 outs by 2. You're right. 2 outs by 2 is 4%.
Right, 2 outs by 2. You're right. Yeah,
4%.
Right.
It's 5.
Yeah, Eric's got pocket aces over here in seat 1. Now, seat 7 brought it in for a raise, 25. With 7-10 of diamonds. So, Francois called with 6-5 of diamonds. Seat 9's in there with Jack 10, and aces is going to raise. That's Eric. It's already $75 in dead money here. He makes it 80, dude. He's going to raise it up another 55. Going to make it 80 to go.
I think it's going to be a big pot.
And Ron brought this one in with 7-10 of diamonds here. That was the initial raise.
I was hoping I could be involved, but I can't.
And if you have enough money, you can call them off here. The problem is, though, in this game, rarely do you have enough money to make a big call.
Well, I can tell you that Eric only has about 400. So
Yeah,
it's got nothing to do with your money. It has to do with Eric's money.
And in this case, Ron's only got maybe 250.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things. Well, let's say I make a little bluff raise for $40, and you re-raise me to 120, and I have 10-7 suited, but you have 3,000 behind, and I have 3,000 behind. I can call you.
Right.
Although I probably don't want to get a heads up with you anyway, because you're not going to pay me off.
Out of position as well.
No, exactly. I had a conversation actually with Matthew, who is Roswell on 2+2, about a hand I played with him the other night, where I was really surprised he had called my raise.
So I guess you played it worse than me.
And Francois is going to make the call. I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah, and this is a bad call by Francois.
I don't think Eric has enough money.
No, he does not, and Francois does not have enough money.
Just a lot of chips in your pocket.
And that's the problem with it. Francois.
I didn't think I was going to get caught off. I just think he was going to call.
And now that's going to bring Sam in now. Now Sam's going to go, you know what, with a little bit more money in there, now I'm going to call too.
So we got about a $300 pot here going 3 ways. Yeah, I don't really know why Francois is calling here. Wow, and the flop comes out 4-4-9. Well, he's got a pretty much, kind of a crap draw on this board on a paired board, Dave.
Yeah.
I mean, not drawing to the nuts. He has no straight draw, just a dry flush
He actually
draw.
only has 8 outs because ace of diamonds would not be good.
Right. That's, of course, when the paired board comes into play.
And actually the jack of diamonds is dead, so I mean, Francois got 7 outs.
And at this point, when the pot's 300, Eric just might move in here.
I imagine he will.
Well, he's going to bet 200. He's got 100 left. So
Okay, well, I mean, obviously there's no
fold
fold
equity, right?
Oh, man.
And again, Francois got to look at it again. I think he made a mistake calling pre-flop. There's no reason to chase this post-flop.
I usually use this hand.
I know they say if you're
I wouldn't be surprised at this point if Francois moved in, though.
Well, it's a $200 bet here. Well, actually, the pot is 500, 200 to call, so he's getting about 2.5 to 1. Now, if he were to just kind of re-raise all in, he would make the pot 300 more. So the pot would actually be 900. He'd be putting in 300 to try to win about
and he does that.
800.
He moves all in. Now, in a bigger game, sometimes you can smooth call, try to represent the 4, and raise a guy in a turn or something, but there's not much you can do here.
Yeah. So Eric's got 100 left. I'm sure he's going to make this call.
If you fold, you fold. I'll give you 100 back.
How can I? No.
He said, if you fold, I'll give you 100 back.
Right.
Yeah, it's 100.
So he's actually putting in 300, Dave, to win again. Actually, only 600 because the pot's 500. When Eric makes that bet, he now check raises at 300. He's putting in 300 to win an additional $100 of Eric's money. So he's only giving himself 2 to 1. And look at this, the diamond comes off.
And
here
you're
on
going
the
to
turn.
see, on the turn here,
And the river here is a 9. And Eric is
see now there, it was 9% because any 4,
Higher flush.
and in the ace, he actually had 3 outs.
Right.
So 3 outs is 9%, 2 outs is 5%. I'm still wondering that other hand. So anyway, I was playing a hand with Matthew. I'll get back to the Mo hand in a second, too.
Again, because I kind
Go.
of,
Jump on it.
stepped over myself. Francois is putting in $300. He's trying to give himself odds. I kind of heard George Georgian do that. But it really doesn't work that way. Because the pot is 500, you're putting in 300, and Eric only has another 100. So you're trying to win 500 in the pot, plus Eric's 100, right? So you're putting in 300 to try to win 600. You're trying to give yourself 2 to 1 on a paired board, which I guess he might think, well, you know, if the guy had something else there, 2 to 1's go with the flush draw. But remember, if Eric has the overpair and the board is paired, 2 to 1 isn't good, right? And Eric has won a T-shirt as the first player to get knocked out. So go on.
Actually, he actually got 2 T-shirts because not only did he get first player to get, he's the first guy to get a rebuy, so he should have a T-shirt. He's the first player who was all in and lost, so that's 2, and he had his aces cracked. So give him 3 T-shirts.
Dave, we got pocket aces here.
Again?
Yeah, in the big blind.
You know, I'm trying my best here to tell a story, and people keep getting aces.
No, I mean, like, I'm not saying you're shaking. I'm saying
Ron is in there, aces in the big blind. I assume Eric's going to rebuy for 500 here.
Sylvester's trying to tell Eric that he has to tell.
Got a limp in here by Thomas, queen 10 off.
And you're never really supposed to tell.
Kyle's going to limp in, and we're probably going to see a raise here by Ron. Although Sylvester raises in this spot sometimes too, out of the small blind with the suited connector. This time he checks it, and Ron's going to raise.
That's a little bit different. I think he's made it, what, 40?
Yeah, he's made it, looks like 40 more.
He gets first rebuy, too.
And he's going to take it down, I believe. Well, let's see if Sylvester gets involved. No. All right, go on, Mr. Tuckman, with your story.
Okay. I had I actually had ace-king offsuit, okay? Limp. We're playing a 10-20 no-limit game, and Matthew was to my right, okay? I was pretty deep, and so was Matthew. I make a raise to about 120, which is the customary raise in the 10-20 game at this point. Everybody folds, and it gets to Matthew on my right. And he smooth called me with pocket deuces. The flop came out with a deuce. He checked to me. I bet the pot. He check raised me. I threw my hand away.
Right.
I probably would have thrown away. I actually told him I had pocket 9s, but I would have thrown pocket 9s away also against him. Flop came out 6-5 deuce. Okay? And I actually asked Matthew, I go, why would you call a raise against me? I go, really, is there any implied odds? You know I'm not going to pay you off against you.
Right.
So even if you hit your deuce, I have to have a monster also and not be able to get away from it for you to make any money on that, and your head's up with you.
Well, I talked about, sometimes we've said on the show that you use the 10 times rule with a pocket pair. But in that particular case, Dave, against 2 solid players, I might increase those odds to say 25 times. The flop comes out here 3-3 deuce, it misses everyone. So what I mean by that is, maybe if I'm 3,000 deep and you're 3,000 deep, I can make that call. What were the stack sizes in that
They were about 3,000, but the problem is those. How am I? Well, okay. We'll see in a second. 7 on the turn here. Still ace high is still the best hand. That's Gus. Nobody's picked up a diamond draw. There's a lot of spades out there.
I should have raised out the blinds so I know.
And I'll make a point about that again, after the hand. Gets checked around here. Rivers of Jack got checked on every street. Looks like his ace high good here. Gus is going to take a shot with ace 5, but his hand's good anyway.
Yeah, he's got the best hand. He's betting with the best hand.
And he's going to take it down. What I'm going to say is, let's say the pot was played a little bit
Now,
differently.
remember, he's out of position.
I understand
and he's
that.
playing me heads up.
I understand that.
With deuces.
And we also talked about the fact that, let's say the flop came out ace high, ace 9 deuce, something like that. And let's say there are a couple clubs out there. Now, if he leads into you, can he build up a pot that's going to be big? I think what you're saying is there's no way I'm giving up 20 times that raise with one pair.
Not against Matthew.
Yeah.
Now, Mike Corporation, Mike can make that same play with me because Mike Corporation, another pair of pocket aces. Wow.
And ace king and ace queen.
Wow, some big hands. So a player like that is going to get my action.
Right.
Because he bluffs enough. But a player like Matthew Roswell on 2+2 we're talking about, I'm not going to give him action. I mean, the flop came out 6-5 deuce. He check raised me $500. I was almost 100% sure sure he had a minimum 2 pair, probably a set.
Thomas is going to raise here to 25 with ace king. Seat 7, Ron's going to call with the queen jack. Francois got ace queen, and let's see what Sam does. So we've got $75 in dead money, and he's going to raise. He's going to make it 100 more here, Dave. Now, Thomas, again, he has gotten about 450 left. All the aces are dead, by the way. So if Thomas gets involved with this hand and flops a king, is he going to get into trouble?
How about a flop? Obviously, it's impossible. Talk about implied odds if the flop actually came out ace king 10. Obviously, it can't come out ace king 10. But wouldn't that be interesting for queen jack?
Thomas makes the call, and both other players behind him lay it down. And we've got about a $275 pot here going to the flop.
And Sam just went all in blind.
He moved all in blind. It's a ragged board.
Yeah, he figures the pot's big enough, I'm not messing around, I'm taking it down. And he shows it. Actually, no, he did show it, I'm sorry.
The only way that Thomas was going to win that if the flop came out 10 jack queen. I mean, for him to make that call. Or, I mean, to be comfortable making the call with the nuts, obviously.
Yeah.
And I actually like the way that Matt played that game, because possibly with an ace, he might bet right into you, but knowing you, and you even say this, because you usually will bet almost 90% of the time heads up when it gets checked to you, a check raise is a good thing there, because if he comes out and leads on the flop, you might just fold, right?
Right. Definitely.
Yeah. Now, obviously, if the flop had come out higher with a king or with an ace and maybe even a queen, he leads into you.
Yeah, you're talking about Matthew and that
Right.
6-5 dish.
Right.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, it's just interesting. I mean, when I'm talking about pocket deuces, when I want to call somebody with a small pocket pair, I have to think of, when I call a raise, I'm saying, there are a lot of factors I've got to look at. First of all, am I in position, out of position? Do I have enough money? Do they have enough money? If I hit my hand, will I get paid? You know? And there are a lot of players that I don't really, I mean, I'm not going to take a small pocket pair up against you. Up against, would I do it against Mo? Maybe not, I don't know. Especially out of position.
Yeah.
Against Corporation Mike or against Alan? Oh, in a heartbeat.
Limped around here, 6-way action against Barry Woods.
Not even close. Of course I would.
King 3-6 here. Now, 2 people have king queen. Sylvester and seat 5. And Eric's got top pair, and he's going to come out and lead with king 7 here, but he's outkicked in 2 spots.
Raise.
And Kyle is going to raise. He's going to make it 50.
Get 50.
I really don't mind that raise there. Sometimes we talk about you don't necessarily always raise with top pair. But there are other people behind you. You kind of want to see where you're at.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing with this kind of board I'll throw out there, it's not a draw-heavy board. So you're not really worried about, somebody lingering in. I mean, I guess 4-5 could be there.
Now, in this case, he's probably going to get out the same hand. I can't imagine that Sylvester here is going to get involved, although you can sometimes tag a player, Dave. I see no-limit players do it all the time, and I know that they're coming from a limit background. If I see them raise a flop, an early position comes out and bets there, and I see them raise a flop with king 10 or king jack in this spot, you got to make a mental note about that,
Definitely.
right?
Of course. And oftentimes in position with a hand like Sylvester has now. I mean, I don't have no problem folding Sylvester's hand,
Right.
especially with a bet and a raise by Kyle. But oftentimes you can smooth call one time and see what the guy does, especially a player like Kyle, what he does. Now, you probably think that Kyle definitely does not have a set here because Kyle would slow play a set, wouldn't he?
Well, I don't know. And look at this, Sylvester's going to re-raise.
Wow.
He's going to re-raise the minimum. And again, I think this is another information raise. And, boy, Kyle's going to call. And I think at this point, if you've got king-queen, you've got to think you're either beat or it's chopped up, right? When he calls a re-raise.
Of course.
Unless he was crazy enough to call with king-jack. The turn's a 6.
And Eric is not in the hand, so he's not picked up a diamond draw.
And now,
Kyle's moved all
Kyle
in.
has moved all in. He checked. He called the re-raise by Sylvester, and now he's just moved right in on the turn.
You know what? I like the way Sylvester played it, and I like the way Kyle played it. I mean, they both played it well. I really think Sylvester was trying to get kind of a free showdown at the end.
Yeah.
Just figured, oh, you know what? Let's just check it down. I don't love my hand.
Look at this. We got a couple of MySpace friend requests by Wade and Gangsta. Gangsta of Love. Thank you, guys. We will add you.
Super.
Again, an email here from Jackie Crest. You can go to cardsharks.com. C-H-A-R, it's not C-H, C-A-R-D-S-H-A-R-X.
Right.
.com. Card Sharks.
Like X Games. Card Sharks. Pocket queens for Sylvester. And pocket sevens for seat number 2. That's Gus in the big blinds.
Kyle's going to limp in here with pocket deuces, a couple of ducks from up front, and Sylvester's going to raise with the ladies. He's going to make it 30 to go here, Dean.
So yeah, that's probably going to invite some players in. You imagine Gus is going to call with sevens, and you imagine Kyle will probably call it deuces now, right?
You know, again, though, I mean, I think Sylvester's a pretty good player. I would be surprised if Sylvester committed all his money to a board of, say, 7-5-3 here. So it's almost the same question here. If you're Gus, would you call here out of position? You are kind of deep enough.
It's a different, but okay. These guys aren't that deep, though.
Three-way action here.
Well, there's a deuce.
King 6.
Now there's a king out there.
Kyle's got bottom set here, and Kyle's going to bet right into the board here.
Well, he's hoping one of these players has ace king. I assume.
He's going to bet 50 here, and he's betting about half the size of the pot.
And if you're Sylvester, can you just get rid of it right away?
Not a great flop for two black queens.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to want to see my
And Gus is not going to get involved either.
Wow, he gets no action on a set of deuces. I guess my only thinking on that was saying, obviously, three-handed is different than two-handed because you can get action from somebody else. There's also a difference between pocket sevens and pocket deuces. Clearly, pocket sevens you can sort of like, okay, let me see what's going on here. Maybe this guy's not racing with a great hand either. Who knows? Pocket deuces, though, unless you hit your set, you really and you're out of position, you have no idea where you're at.
Let's take a look at the first chip count here of the night. This is what these guys have now. We've got almost 5,000 on the table. Now, I believe we do have a starting point here a couple minutes before the game. So let's see how they've been doing in the first half an hour of the show.
Well, and Francois is the big winner so
'cause
far.
he made that diamond, and Eric's the big loser with that aces against that flush draw.
And that's pretty much an $800 swing there, folks.
Yeah.
You know, if Eric doesn't get sucked out on, he's probably up 400, and Francois is down 400. Wow, Eric's raising it up with pocket deuces.
Yep, 35 here.
Takes it down.
Going to take it down.
Okay, so I want to throw this question at you and our viewers, okay? Once again, I'm going to give you the question Mo gave me. Corporation Mike has about $20,000 behind. Mo's got $12,000 behind, okay? They're playing in a pretty deep stack game. Mike raises, like is normally every other raise. Anybody that's not familiar with Corporation Mike, he's an extremely aggressive
Laggy player.
Extremely. Mo re-raises him to $600 with kings.
Yeah.
Mike calls. The pot is now $1,200. Okay. The flop comes out with an ace high, and Mike checks to Mo. What do you do if you are Mo? Do you bet? Do you check? And if you bet, how much do you bet?
Raise here by Kyle, pocket fives. He's going to make it 25 to go. Seat 7's going to call with king, queen. King, queen offsuit here. And Gussie easily lays down king, jack offsuit from seat 2. Seat 3 is going to make the call. And we got three-way action here. $75 pot to the flop.
Oh, not a bad flop raise, 7 of clubs.
Yeah, Dave's got the nut flush draw here, and it looks like he's going to lead from up front. Let's see. Not a bad flop for pocket fives. I
No,
mean,
it just puts him in a tough spot, though. You know, is Dave betting a flush draw? Is he betting a straight draw, or is he betting a 10, jack 10, 10, 9, say?
well, Dave checked, and Kyle's going to bet 100. He's going to.
Oh, I thought he bet into him.
No, I thought he was going to too, but he checked. You can see the percentages. Dave's actually a favorite with clubs and 2 overcards
Yeah.
with 2 cards to come.
Got 15 outs, folks.
It's about a $175 pot, 100 to call. Kyle has bet big here on the flop.
Kyle, new aggressive Kyle today, huh?
And Dave is not going to chase there. Wow. It's sometimes, difficult to chase. Again, when you play more and more no limit, when you are trying to make hands and develop hands and make big semi-bluffs, you've got to be probably chasing the nuts, in which case that guy was over in C3. But you like to almost have a two-way draw going as well, Dave.
Yeah.
Then you're out of position.
I mean, if the guy had ace queen or ace king or ace jack,
2
perhaps a little bit
overcards to the
different.
board. Yeah. Even if the ace comes, you don't necessarily know if you're good.
I mean, the best way to play that hand probably is to bet it right into
Maybe lead out. Yeah.
lead out, get some information. You might win the pot right there. You're also naming your price for your draw. Obviously, checking and calling is usually the weaker the play. Sweaty, that was a question Mo asked me, and I'm throwing it to everybody on 2+2. I'm throwing it to all our viewers. You can email us at live@thebike.com. Let us know what you would do in that situation against Corporation Mike.
Again, Mo raised, Corporation Mike called, and the flop came ace high, and Mike is out of position.
Yeah, well, Mike had raised originally. Corporation Mike raised originally. Mo re-raised him with kings. Mo was in position. They both had tons of money, and the pot was $1,200.
Gus raised it here pre-flop, and Thomas made a smooth call with ace-king, and we have ace-9 in the hand from the big blind.
Now, I'm curious how Kyle's going to play this.
Now look at this. Thomas is going to lead right into 3 players in a raised pot.
Wow.
I think ace-9's garbage here with 2 people to act behind you, isn't it?
Absolute garbage.
And he's going to fold it easily.
He's got ace-9, no spade in his hands.
Yeah.
No redraw whatsoever.
Yeah.
I like the bet by Thomas. He's not going to get any action, of course, but I think that board is just too scary to give a free card. If any Broadway card comes out there, somebody might back into a straight. Obviously, if a spade comes out, somebody might have a draw.
And he takes it down there out of C4.
We had a big tournament today. The winning of the green tournament today was $1,000 limit hold'em. Started at 4:15 p.m. A couple of big-time players in the house tonight. We have Kenneth James in the house playing.
Kenny just
playing
recently
limit?
won 2nd place in that big limit party poker tournament.
Well, I guess he can play limit
Yeah.
then. And Michael Mizrachi, the grinder,
Yeah.
is here as well playing in that tournament.
Card it's unlimited. You pay your $28 in. If you think about it, you're going to spend more than that.
Pocket jacks over here for seat 8. It's funny, Dave, we had 41 entries. Just to go show you that limit hold'em's really the bitch of no limit these days in
Yeah.
tournaments, isn't it? I mean, limit hold'em used to be the only game. They only used to play no limit in the World Series. What they would call the Super Bowl of poker, I think. Something like
Yeah.
that. Get a raise here by
Cadillac of
Francois.
all games.
Queen Jack offsuit. Actually, excuse me, Francois got jacks.
How dated is that statement? The Cadillac. What the hell's a Cadillac?
But the Escalade folks, right? Cadillac's kind of done it like a revamp of their whole thing.
A Cadillac?
Buttons moved over here to C5. Someone told me that the grinder was in the tournament. I've never actually seen the grinder here. I assume he was here for... Actually, that's not true, because when I was doing the ladies event at the WPT, he was there, of course, rooting on his wife.
Okay.
But I've never seen him play in a cash game here at the bike.
I actually played with him at the World Series in the $3,000, well, actually $2,500 pot limit event that I cashed in. He was at my first table. Actually, a really nice guy.
That is one of the... That's kind of your proudest achievement, right? That pot limit, because the field was a lot tougher.
Yeah, it was a lot tougher, obviously. The other events had 1,500 people and probably half the field was dead money, while the pot limit events were a lot tougher.
Kyle's got pocket jacks here on the button. Gets limped around to him, and he's going to make it 50 to go here, Dave. Again, you can email us at live@thebike.com. Questions, comments, suggestions, as always. A couple other MySpace friend requests by Tempest and Tinker Barbie. There you go.
Yes.
Again, we'll be adding some things to MySpace as everything comes around. Button's going to move over here to seat 6. We're playing 5-5 no limit, $300 min, $500 max. Dave, if you check out the latest card player issue, anyone that gets card player out there, there's a big ad for Live at the Bike, and there's a picture of Mo. And I have to tell you, I kind of went running into, interrupted my producer's lunch, and I was like, what is it going to take to get me into card play? I mean, you got Shirley Rosario on the back of one issue, and now you got a picture of Mo.
I got to tell you,
I'm just the bitch.
I got to tell you, I'm looking forward to the day that I'm in card player, but I don't want it to be in an ad. I'm waiting to be on the front.
Gus is going to raise here with Queen Jack suited to 20. It looks like he's going to get a call here by Queen 5 of clubs. Early position limper Dave. Queen 5 against Queen Jack, and Gus is flop top 2, and Sam's got top pair. See if Sam gets involved here. Sylvester is not in the hand.
I mean, Sam's hand's got top pair, no kicker, no
Look at this.
draw.
Gus is led weakly. He bet half the size of the pot, and he's going to induce Sam to check raise. Sam has check raised the minimum here, and let's see how Gus is going to play this in position. He made a small weak bet on the flop.
Now, in position, you can afford to take a free card. The problem is, though, that board is pretty scary.
That board is really connected here. Broadway, diamond, you don't really know where you're at.
I mean, might you re-raise this hoping your opponent has king, queen?
Well, he's just going to make the call.
I mean, he's behind 9-10, is ahead of him actually right now.
$120 pot to the turn. The turn's a 3.
Well, it's one of the few safe cards there were.
Let's see what Sam's going to do now. He's going to lead for 100 here.
And I think you've got to raise this if you're Gus.
He's going to move all
sure
in,
enough,
Dave.
he is going to.
There it is.
And that's a good way to play it, obviously.
But I know you don't have any.
You showed your cards. You know that, right? All right. You flopped it.
He's moved all in here for it looks like another 200. Now I want to say the pot now is about 530, 200 to call.
Now, I know pot odds and everything, but is there any way you can look at this and go, this guy might have 9-10, I could be drawing dead.
He was an early position raiser. Well, actually, no, he was a mid-position raiser.
Whoa, you showed the pot.
And Sam made the call, Dave, and he's drawing totally dead.
Yeah.
Here we go to the river. The river here is a jack, and Gus fills up.
You know he has it.
You know, the funny thing is, oftentimes you look at a call like that, and you go, well, I'm getting 2.5 to 1 on my money. It's only 150 to win 500. Well, actually, I'm getting almost a little over 3 to 1 on my money. Should I call? And sometimes, I mean, most really, really good players you never want to put money in there when you're drawing good.
Oh, man, and Francois is screaming again at the table. Sometimes I don't ask to turn the table mic down, but my God. We got our first response here on 2+2 by Jay-Z Piano. He says, I think I'm going to make my standard continuation bet here, $900. My check raises, I'd let go of it, but that's just me.
That's one way to play it. I'm gonna, before I tell you what I would do and what Mo actually did, I want to get a lot of responses, so I'm really curious.
Nice hand.
And just so you know exactly what I'm talking about here, once again, it's your heads up with Corporation Mike in position. You have $12,000 behind. Corporation Mike has you covered, has $20,000 behind. The pot is $1,200. You have pocket kings. The flop comes out ace, rag, and Corporation Mike checks you. What do you do?
Kyle's going to raise here with ace queen.
That's all right.
He's going to make it, looks like 20.
Now I got 2 of them.
You deserve a whole roll for that.
And Francois calls here with 8-10 of spades. And Gus is in there with ace-8 of diamonds here.
Hey, they're having a good time, and that's what poker's all about, right?
Jack 9-5 here, rainbow.
Thank you.
It misses everyone here. Well, 8-10 is open-ended, Francois, and he's going to come out lead. He's got backdoor spades. He's going to bet 40.
I'll take that bet any day.
I mean, is there ever a time you're in a pot, Bart, and the odds are so overwhelming that you feel like you have to call, but you can throw it away anyway because you feel like you're probably drawing dead?
Well, we saw that hand a couple of weeks ago with that's Allen hand, actually about a month ago with the 6-3 of hearts.
Yeah, that
I
was...
mean, Allen was getting about, 10, 11, 12 to 1. He had a pair. He could only beat a pure bluff, and he called.
And he hit it, right.
Yeah.
A pair of threes
I
was
mean, he
good.
called about $300 for what was probably a $4,000, $5,000 pot. Yeah.
Good point.
That's got to be a very
Serious though, you have to look on our end, but we're watching
Button
you.
moves over here to seat 8.
I'm looking at him. I'm like, what? You know what?
Another big hand here. We got ace queen
It doesn't matter.
from Sam over there in seat 9.
Yeah, I think the whole commotion about it is I think Gus actually showed him the cards, and he called anyway.
Oh, really?
He didn't.
So Sam is in the big blind here with ace queen.
35.
Raise 35.
And we got a raise here by seat 3.
That was good entertainment.
It's going to make it 35 to go with pocket 5. Seat 9's going to call here with the ace queen out of position. And we're heads up here, Dave. Pocket 5's against ace queen. About a $70 pot, heads up. 9-7 here on the flop.
It's not a bad flop for Dave here. Problem is when 9 comes off, his hand is garbage.
Dave makes the continuation bet here. Francois was not in the hand.
Takes it down.
And he takes it down.
Buttons right here.
There you go. Getting some more MySpace requests here. Thank you all for adding us
Hey,
as
you
your
get
friends
this?
to
It says,
MySpace.
speed is dangerous. Don't meth around.
Salad and a diet.
That's the guy's name. Speed is dangerous. Don't meth around. Would like to be added to your MySpace friends list. There you go. Again, you can also email us here at liveatthebike.com. Questions, comments, suggestions.
Well, this is actually really exciting. You know, we only had 8 friends before the show.
Yeah.
We've already doubled it.
Yep.
35.
Raise on 35.
Again?
Donkey Dave.
Yeah, that's Mr. B. Raise it up.
No, that's been you. Every time I get a hand, I want to see a flop. I know, not raise. Come in
We
with
get a
hand
raise
raise.
here
Two.
by seat number 3, King
I threw away
Queen.
pocket queens twice on you.
And Eric is going to call with Ace Queen. So the pre-flop raiser is dominated here. Dave is the pre-flop raiser. Here we go to the flop.
Wow.
And he
Lucky flop
outflops
there.
it. Well, Eric's got a gut shot here with the Ace Queen.
Yeah, Eric's actually got a jack or an ace will give him the win.
Good to know.
It looks like Eric might come out and bet here at the semi-bluff. He's going to bet 40. And Dave here is going to raise to 100. Okay. But again, we talk about how King Queen can be a little bit vulnerable. It's also the pre-flop raiser. If you're deep, Dave, you don't really know what Eric's betting out there.
It's also the reason to bet into the razor when you
Right.
hit your hand. Let's say you make a set of sevens there.
Right.
You bet into the razor. He raises you, and now he's pot committed.
Especially in this game.
Oh, definitely. Even more for a reason for it.
He's raised it up here. Looks like 75 more. And Eric does not call.
I mean, there are good players. I'm sorry to interrupt you there, Mark. There are good players. Now, I know if you're playing against a solid poker player, or if I'm playing against a solid poker player, and he bets, if I raise and he bets into me, I know that he's smart enough to bet his hand into me, expecting a raise. You know, so I definitely do put him on the fact that he has something pretty big.
Email here from Michael Christo Pete. He says, Bart, I'd crush the pot limit Omaha 8 or better multi-tables, 100 to 300. It's ridiculous. In no other game do I dominate so much. There are so many bad players that a great player is unbeatable in these conditions. But I wouldn't let it build my confidence to the point where I'm ready to jump right into the biggest buy-in tournaments. What makes you so sure you can take down the best as easily as you can take down the worst? Love the show. Did I ever say I could take down the best?
I think you did.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, maybe I did.
Exactly, verbatim. Wait, this guy Michael here. Thanks for the email. He final tabled over 90%.
Wow, that's a good number.
Man,
Four-way action here, limped around.
I don't know anybody that final tables 90%.
I don't know of any big pot limit 8 or better tournaments, though. Omaha 8 or better tournaments. They don't go on at the World Series.
I think that's, you know what, I think that's what you're talking about in a sense. Pot limit Omaha 8?
Well, let's get to this in a second. Sam's going to bet here with a pair of 8s, and he's going to take it down. What I said was that, you know, if I have the opportunity, I'd love to play in some of the limit Omaha 8 or better events at the World Series this year. And I don't know if I'm going to do really well, but pot limit Omaha 8 or better, it's really not spread as a live tournament. I've never seen it really spread. I know it's not in the World Series.
I don't even know the game spread as a cash game.
Well, not in this country. You can find it online.
Okay.
And you can find it on, you know, it gets about 100 people. I think Stars actually does a pot limit 8 or better tournament that gets about 100 people.
Okay,
$200 buy-in.
It's funny. I mean, I know obviously most of the games I've seen, I see pot limit Omaha high only, or Omaha 8 is predominantly played as a limit game.
Right.
Saturday night, it'll take you 2 hours to get play food. And that's you standing in line to get it.
Button's moved over here to seat 2. Limped around here 4 ways. King 4-3 here on the flop.
Check. Check. Bet 15.
And the button's going to bet 15 here. Dave's going to bet here with ace 10. And we're going to see a call here.
Yeah, Thomas calls it bottom pair, 9 kicker. He's got the old 49ers, San Francisco 49ers here.
Turn here is a king, and we are blessed by And a godly presence here in the booth. Rivers
Godly?
an 8. Yep.
Jesus. God, can you get your lips any further up?
It looks like Gus is going to win it here with a pair of 8. So Kenna James has joined us in the booth here.
That's our godly presence. And I am going to step out for 10 minutes. We'll let Kenna talk with you. Talk about his exceptional run. Congratulations,
Yeah,
Kenna, by the way.
Button's going to move over here to seat number 3, and Kenna James is going to step into the booth for a couple minutes. Oh. There we go. Now you're on, Kenna.
All right, Bart, back in the saddle again.
Back in the saddle. Well, unfortunately, does this mean that you got knocked out of the little $1,000 limit over there today?
Yeah, you know, it was funny. I said, oh, God. Oh, wait. Oh, my God.
It's all right. We flipped back to the table.
Now you know why I wear the cowboy hat. Huh? I mean, it looked like I had a toupee on there. That was sick. Oh, man. Cocktails?
I'm sure we can get those in here for you.
Oh, yeah,
So-
we need a cocktail and my slice of pizza, please. That's my pay here at Live at the Bike.
We're playing a little 300 to 500 no limit here, Kenna.
It looks like I got 3, 6, 9, 10 chips. That's $50.
Yeah, it's a 300 to 500 game. Look at this. Both players are on flush draws. 8, 9 of spades and 3, 5 of spades.
Sometimes we should black the cards out and just let's see how good our hand reading skills
Yeah,
are.
we're actually going to start to do that as a
Is that-
segment of the show, yeah. Especially in the big game, you know. Now we're
Yeah.
really spreading that Wednesday game. I don't know
Right.
if you saw the ad in Card Player, but Mo's got a big ad out advertising
Yeah.
that game on
Yeah.
Wednesday nights.
Wednesday nights, right?
Yeah.
I will. That's this Wednesday. I'll be here.
Oh,
I'll be
awesome.
here. 8, 9, 10 Jack Queen.
Yeah,
is a
Gus
straight.
made the ass end of it there. We had the flush draw. And he's on bigger spades.
I don't
as
think
well.
it's called the ass end when it's 2 to a straight, is it? Is it still called the ass end?
I just like to say that.
You just like to say ass. huh?
And look at this. Sam's going to bet in. He's drawing totally dead.
And right before I sat down, you guys were talking about lips. Now you're talking about ass. It's body parts here on Live at the Bike.
Well, we had a special St. Patrick's Day drinking show, Dave, kind of on Friday night.
Where was my invite?
Yeah, we were taking shots of Bushmills and Jameson, and we were taking, sipping on Guinness the whole night. It was a lot of fun, man. It was a lot of fun.
It sounds like it.
Yep. Now, Gus made a raise here, and Sam is going to call, and you love it when the guy's drawing dead against you. This spot's over $500, and the river here is a jack.
Oh, that's too bad for Gus.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to get any
It's
more
really
money.
bad because not only is he not going to get any more money, but the board's paired so he can't.
Yeah, he didn't even bet there at the end.
Yeah.
Well, I want to congratulate you. I mean, of course, everybody watched Legends that was recently on the World Poker Tour, and anyone that didn't know that you finished in second, had a big score there, and then you just finished in second over at the Party Poker Cruise, right?
On the boat. On the boat.
Now,
I'm king of the boat.
Now that was not a WPT event for the first time this year, right? They
Right.
took it away.
They filmed it, but
They did film it.
They did film it. Yeah, WPT.
And that's a limit tournament. Am I correct about that?
Limit Hold'em.
Limit Hold'em. So kind of going back to your roots there.
A little bit. I won the 2,500 Limit Hold'em at
At the Bellagio, right?
Bellagio,
Yeah.
2003. But hadn't played for a long, long time, so it was refreshing.
Now, how did you come and approach a limit tournament? I know a lot of times people say, well, vintage Kenna James is usually trying to be the aggressor, not trying to get involved, get mixed up with a lot of pots or big pots and trying to protect your chips and just kind of gradually increasing your stack. How does that change in a limit tournament for you? Just can't necessarily push people
So
around.
my
as much.
strategy,
Yeah.
well, first of all, I switched to Jack and Coke.
Yeah.
Okay, normally I drink 7 and 7,
Yeah.
but for Limit Hold'em, Jack and Coke.
Yeah.
Because, and Diet Coke, because I'm going to have more of them because it's a slower game.
Yeah.
So, and those calories really add up. We'll get back to that, but look at this hand. This looks like, I call this a buffet of poker. We got 6, I mean, ace, queen,
Five
king, queen,
ways.
ace, 9, 6, 7s, 2 6 7s.
And look at it, everybody missed.
Sam and Sylvester play the same.
Everybody missed here, kind of.
Sylvester plays a little better. He's suited.
Yeah.
4-4 Jack. Who's going to win this pot?
I think Francois came out. No, not Francois. I think.
Who's betting?
Yeah, Francois came out and bet. And Francois, he's a little bit of a
Sam,
pain in the ass because he never shows his cards.
was that 6-7 of spades?
Well, we can't see his cards. He's over there in seat 8.
Oh, so we don't know what he
Yeah,
has?
we don't know what he has. We know that he's let out. We know that everybody doesn't have anything else.
Put the light on him. Put him in a chair.
He's got pocket 5s, and he's going to take it down.
So he did have the best hand.
Did have the best hand. So
If he doesn't put his cards on, let's put a spotlight on him like they did, in the when they interrogated people.
Yeah.
Big spotlight.
did you see the latest episode of The Sopranos? Do you watch that?
No.
They kept putting this spotlight down on Tony when he was about to die, looking down at the
Yeah,
doctor's office.
exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
Bud's going to move over to seat 5. So limit hold'em.
Limit hold'em.
How do you mix
What
it
a
up a little
great
bit?
game. Well, you gotta, people think it's a deceptive game.
I'm sure.
In a tournament, I'm talking about tournament limit hold'em.
Right.
Because you think you can play more hands because you can't lose your whole stack in one go, in one hand,
Yeah, I'm really.
and that's deceptive. You actually have to play less hands.
Well, that's almost like the same thing in a ring game as well. That actually, in no limit games, you can see a lot of flops because it's an implied odds game. But in limit games, you almost really want to play tighter pre-flop, don't you?
Implied odds. What does that mean? Huh?
I think you know enough about implied odds.
Well, I know.
Now you don't tell me.
I've heard the term.
heard the
Not
term.
together. I've heard of odds and I've heard of implications or implied.
Not necessarily in that order.
And this isn't not necessarily. And I haven't even had the cocktail yet.
I know. It's on the way, right, Evelyn?
And
It's
a
on the way.
pizza. Where's my pizza? I've actually lost. More interesting. I had a big weight bet with Mike Sexton.
I was actually going to bring that up because I overheard that
Yes.
from you. Yeah.
2 5s again.
Regular poker etiquette and stuff.
You say I got 5 seconds. You're yanking me off the show.
No. Don't pay attention
They
to
do
that guy.
hand signals back here, These television people, it's all hand signals. It's
No,
like
he wanted to
baseball.
tell you that you were coming back to you. So you lost some weight because you had a big bet against Mike Sexton.
Yeah,
right?
I lost 23
Oh,
pounds.
congratulations.
Those people that on the internet, they have pictures of me on the treadmill like this.
Yeah.
Like, get on the treadmill. Well, I got on the treadmill. I lost 23 pounds.
Wow.
Get it shot there. Wait, let me turn.
It's funny when
I'm
you
going
were
off screen. I don't even know where my camera angle is.
when you were talking about that.
Wait a minute. Let me show you.
Oh,
This is
oh, there it is.
okay. Look at that.
Oh, there it is. when you were talking about that weight bet that I heard a couple weeks ago when you were on the show, you
Right.
were actually saying that you wanted to try to settle with those guys so you didn't have to go through the torture of it anymore. Are you
Well,
still going through it?
I went through it. I didn't eat for 12 days. I was on a liquid diet for 12 days. Yeah, it was brutal, but it did help my discipline, but not my sanity. By the end, I was.
And this is during when you were playing tournaments and such, right?
It was so sick. I mean, it was what? Yeah, during when I was playing tournaments and big golf.
Oh.
I couldn't even swing the club.
In
and I
big
was-
golf. Of course, you're a big golfer too, right?
Yeah.
What's your handicap?
Is this being aired?
Hey, well,
All right, 22. No, 11. 11 or 12.
That's pretty good. So, obviously, you get the opportunity to bet on a lot of things with people in the poker community.
Right, it's called prop bets. You bet prop bets like sometimes you look down and you see 2 snails on the ground,
Yeah.
and you're walking by and you're with your buddy and you say, okay, I think that snail's faster.
If
And,
anybody got any questions, you can email us, Ken at livebike.com, as always.
I guess we should do a hand here since it is
We're
poker.
doing a kind of a small game, a little restricted game. You've actually played in this game before.
I played in this game. I probably lost 2,000.
Don is
It's a
asking
small
me,
game. I probably lost 2,000 or 3,000.
what kind of cocktail do you want, Ken?
Jack and Diet Coke.
Oh, Jack and Diet, all right.
I just want to know. I know you guys. You got a lot of faithful people that watch out there.
Yeah.
That trivia question: has Kenneth James ever won a session at Live at the Bike? Huh? Has he ever taken more chips off the table than he's coming?
Didn't you turn that around, though, the last time you were a small winner on the show, the last time you were on, right?
Well, I was till it went off the air.
Yeah. Yeah, we had one of the biggest hands, if anyone didn't know, the hand after we went off the air about 2 months ago. It was absolutely incredible.
Yeah,
I got the worst
that's the one.
with the aces. Oh,
I
man.
finally booked a winning session, right? they go off the air, and the very next hand, I got to tell you, I'm dealt 2 aces in the big blind. Okay? And every time I look up at that screen, my eyes look like they're going to the top of my head. So this has got to be about the camera. So I'm dealt 2 aces in the big blind, and Alan, that's Alan. Right? He limps under the gun, and then it gets raised back. I re-raise and make it a big re-raise. Alan goes all in, and I'm sitting with 2 aces. He goes all in for like 1,500.
And Barry Woods is in between.
Yeah, Barry Woods is in between. He goes all in. I go all in. 20,000. Long story short, it's a $20,000 pot. Barry's got ace king. Alan's got 2 kings, and I got 2 aces.
And that was one hand after the show. And from what I remember, Kenna, the flop came out. I think it was all clubs. And the interesting thing is, there was actually another player in between. If anybody remembers, it was actually Eugene, who ended up folding queens pre-flop to Alan's limp re-raise. Because Alan limped under the gun. Eugene raised. Barry called with ace-king. You re-raised with aces in the big blind. Alan moved all in. Eugene looked at queens, thought about, and folded. Barry called with ace-king. You moved Barry in, and Barry called. And the flop came out queen high with 3 clubs, and Barry has the ace of clubs in his hand. And Alan's got the king of clubs in his hand. So Barry is drawing to the higher flush. It's a queen high flop. The turn is a blank.
Right.
In the river, Alan has 1 out. Of course, Barry Woods can beat you with any club. But
Right.
Alan's got 1 out, and he hits the offsuit king.
Well, if you notice, I hadn't said anything there. I had my thumb on the cough button because I was busy throwing up.
Just over the thought of it.
Off the thought of that. Yeah, 20,000. I was finally a winner at Live in the Bike. So I guess officially I was winner.
You did win money on the side against Barry Woods, though. A little bit.
Yeah, I ended up breaking even.
Yeah.
In it. But when you see somebody else rack up 20,000, that should have been. I don't know. What should I say should have been? I've been so lucky.
We had a slow player on the table here, kind of. Sam flopped the nut straight, and he checked it in position on the turn. Dave made a bet here on the turn, and actually Dave called Sam's bet here on the turn. The river here is a 3rd heart. Now let's see if Sam can even be aggressive with it. But Dave's going to bet again here with ace-7, and I think that Sam might just be able to call now with the 3rd heart.
Yeah.
It's funny, you play a lot of no-limit ring games,
Right.
and Dave and I talk about a lot of times, when you make a big hand, like on a flop, you have to build a pot up to win a big pot in the end, don't you?
Great point.
I mean, we see so many
Bart.
people slow playing themselves,
Yeah,
and they
and
never build up a pot.
Exactly. Well, that's why I bet a lot of hands, whether I have it or not.
Right.
You know, when I have it, if you notice on the WPT show, I flopped a set of 3s that come out betting.
Yeah, absolutely.
I flop, and I flop top set. I'll bet it. I like to get money in the pot.
Well, you're betting your bluffs and your good hand, so you're
Right.
going to get paid up that much
Exactly.
more, right?
Right.
And you might actually induce somebody to make a move on you. Actually, the last time you were on the show, you had ace-jack, and a guy in C4 made a move on you with nothing. And you shoved all your chips in there. And he
That's
folded.
right. Yeah, he had
You
ace
remember
queen.
that? Yeah.
He had ace queen.
Yeah. And that's kind of how your image,
Right.
helps to get you paid up.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. You
great.
invest in that. Look at this: deuces, 3s, and 8s.
Yep.
That's the problem with betting or playing. He played that hand with ace-7 when the other guy flopped a straight. You never want to leave yourself drawing dead. And I wouldn't have played.
Sam's got jack-10 here. He's got top pair out of seat 9. Dave is going to come out and bet here with pocket 8s. Let's see how Sam's going to play it. So again, tomorrow night we've got our $3,000 minimum.
He's got a
buy-in.
raise here, right?
Well, let's see what he's going to do. He's just going to make a call. Maybe he's a little bit scared of his kicker here.
I don't like this play.
Turns a deuce. Look at that, Kenna.
Hey, God love you. Look at this. Huh? Look at
Tails.
that. And it's delivered by Miss America. Oh, that's 50.
It gets checked over to Sam. He's going to bet with jack-10 here. He's going to bet 50.
How much is in the pot?
The pot is about 50, and he makes a $50 bet here. So Dave is trying to figure out if his 8s are good. He got called once. He checked the turn. Now this guy bet the turn.
But he folds the 8s.
Yeah, and he folds the 8s. There you go. And look at what the river cam shows there, Ken.
An 8.
An 8 on the river.
Wow.
8 of hearts, wonder cam, as we call it. But, you are really, really hot, on this tournament trail. You've got to really be looking forward to, the World Series coming up, right?
I'm really looking forward to it. Well, before that, the Bellagio. But it's funny, Grinder is currently ranked 1, right?
Yeah.
Card player, I'm ranked 2. I'm in the tournament back there. There's an empty seat on my left. 2 comes and sit in it, but the Grinder. So that was funny.
This was kind of a small turnout. I mean, Limit, I would say
Very
Limit is kind of the bitch of No Limit these days, isn't it?
Yeah,
In
it
tournament
is.
poker.
It used to be the opposite. I was there when Limit was king and No Limit was the underdog.
Just only played in the World Series main event, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
We were talking about that earlier.
It's just phenomenal how No Limit has taken over the poker.
Now, what do you prefer? I mean, you think that No Limit is a game more of skill in tournaments?
I think Limit is harder to play.
Really?
Should I say that? I don't know if I should say that.
Just because you don't think people necessarily know how to play it correctly, because there's so much No
In
Limit
this day
going
of
on.
age, yeah, because everybody's playing No Limit now. So I like the Limit tournaments because people have less experience in them. It's a great game. It really is, and it changes. The reason it's a great game, the strategy changes throughout the tournament. You start off playing really solid, and at the end it plays more like No Limit because each bet is so big
Right.
to your stack size
Right.
that it plays like No Limit. So your strategy changes from the beginning to the middle to the end.
Now,
Very interesting.
did you have a lot of fun on that cruise as well?
Well, I was playing most of the time, but when we did stop in Jamaica, got off, and my wife, we went horseback riding in the ocean.
Yeah. In the ocean?
In the ocean.
Yeah.
The horses go all the way down to their neck,
Oh,
and they're
cool.
running full speed in the ocean. It's, as fast as they can after you go on the trails. And so life on the tournament trail is rough, It's
Literally. I always
It's
wondered,
hard.
I've never had the opportunity to go on a poker cruise, but
Right.
I wonder if it's sometimes difficult to balance, pleasure with business if you're still in the tournament and you're taking it
Well,
really
it
seriously.
is. Well, because, it's hard. It is hard balance. I don't do too well at it. I usually have to wind down after a tournament, with some friends and a cocktail, a cigar, or, whatever.
Right.
I got to have that wind down time, and you're playing late into the night. And then they're knocking at your door delivering breakfast in the morning. It's rough, man.
Right, room
No,
service and all that stuff.
It's great. It's just you don't get much sleep. So I got off that cruise. I was exhausted.
Oh, physically and mentally, right?
The tournament after that,
Yeah.
right? I finished second. And we got done partying about 4:35 in the morning. They slamming on the door at 9:30 for delivering the breakfast. My wife kicks me out of bed and says, "Get your ass down there and play the tournament and get back some of that 300,000 you lost the night before." Because I finished second, so I went down and played the $1,000 No Limit that day. Yeah, 159 people. I made the final table. I had to keep leaving the table to do the interviews from the previous day and the award ceremony and the talent show. So I played about half the
It was
tournament.
like a last chance tournament, right?
Yeah.
What they call it.
Anyway, I
Yeah.
ended up finishing fifth in that, so that was good.
Wow.
Which paid for the trip, that event. So
Yeah, absolutely.
so anyway, that was fun. Anyway, I don't want to. I'm talking too much about.
No. I think it's really interesting what you say
everything,
about
but-
limit tournaments, though, because I'm looking forward to playing in some limit tournaments at the World
Good.
Series if I get the opportunity.
That's my
to.
advice to you guys. Is I think Limit will start making a little bit of a comeback, and those of people that haven't played it for a while that are going to can get good at it, right?
Yeah.
Because everybody's forgotten about how to play that game a little bit.
Right.
So get a book, learn that, and play some more Limit tournaments, and you should be able to pick up some easy money.
Look at this, a couple of aces in the hand. Seat 2 raised it, and Sylvester called here with ace-9 of spades. Now, when you play a hand like this for a raise, I assume, as we always say, you're not necessarily going to get involved in a lot of heat if an ace flops. with
I
ace-9.
never play this hand. I never call raises with it.
Never?
Are you kidding? I'm in with any two, so of course I'm going to play that. Obviously, the 3 double-up hands in no limit are what? Straights, sets, and flushes, okay? Sets, straights, and flushes. So when you have the ace suited, you're going to play it, especially if it's a minimal raise or a small raise, and especially if you have position. This is
Sylvester. It gets checked
Sylvester
in.
betting,
Yeah.
so he does have position.
He does have position. He's on the button.
And I love this. You know, that's
pretty
why you can.
aggressive
This is
player.
why you can play this hand. Is he has a far inferior hand, but here you see the strength of no limit hold'em. Okay, because you're going to see here if a blank comes off on the turn, if this guy continues to bet, how difficult it is for Gus to call.
Well, you know, Sylvester bet there, and it's actually Eric who's called with top pair here, 7-8. But I don't necessarily
I
think,
see.
you never know how much heat Eric's going to take with this hand either. Now Sylvester picks up the nut flush.
Right. He needs. I would probably, because you got called here, I'd probably take the free card.
Well, look at this.
He doesn't
though.
give him a chance.
Eric's
though.
going to come out and bet.
He bets $100.
He check called the flop, and now Sylvester's going to move all in. He actually has overcards to Eric's pair plus the nut spade draw. And he's going to move all in. I don't know how much fold equity there is here. He makes it 105 more, but he gets the guy to fold.
Really?
Yeah. 105 more in about a $450 pot, and Eric does not get involved there with 7.
I can't believe that, because for $100 more, minimum he's got is 5 outs, right? Or 3 8s and 2 7s.
Right.
Minimum.
Yeah, that was a
and
little
he's
bit surprising.
and it's $100. He's only got $100
Right.
more.
Sometimes this game's a little bit easier to play because of the restricted buy-in nature of it. You're not necessarily dealing with real deep stacks, right, to make these hard decisions. You know.
Well, it's all relative, though, Bart. You know, decisions. I mean, as far as money decisions like we play in the big games, you would think it's nothing. But relative to what you have and what the buy-in is, you know, it actually might even be a little tough. This is what amazes me. Look at all those $100 chips he's got. And the maximum is $500 buy-in.
Yeah, $500 buy-in, yeah.
Wow.
Sylvester really, I mean, you can make a lot of money in this game, obviously. So again, we are doing tomorrow night, $3,000 minimum buy-in,
I will.
$25.50 no limit hold'em.
Well, I'm going to play the $1,000 no limit tomorrow because the grinder's going to be in there, and I'm chasing his ass
For the
title.
points. Yeah.
But if I'm out, I'll definitely be playing. And gosh dang it, I'm going to try and win. So
Yeah, let's
I think we should set a line. I don't think I've ever won on the show. Maybe one time out of like 20. But I don't think I'm a 20-1 underdog to
No,
win.
I don't think so either.
But you 2+ tours who think you know a lot more than me, because I heard you guys have been bagging on me and ragging on me. Huh? Because, you know, I'm not perfect. I'm a human being, and I make some mistakes. You guys set the odds at me winning tomorrow. And we'll see if we can get you some action.
Oh, really?
Make a good line.
Make a good line.
Make a good line.
Flop comes out as a 3 flush. Again, we were doing shots of Jameson anytime the flop came out 1 suit. Dave had hearts on Friday, so this would be a shot for him here. 9-4 deuce, all hearts. He ended up doing 8 shots to my 2 over 3 hours.
Really?
Look at the size of him. He was about to get carried out of there.
Dave, it's just, this is a specimen. You ladies, you married? You're not married, right? You are married. Did I know that? I was going to try and get you some action.
I'm not married.
You're not?
No.
How is that possible?
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know.
seriously.
I don't know. Oh, I'm only 26. Take a little time.
26, that's when I got married.
Oh, really?
That's what happened to me. Huh?
Dave got married kind of young too, right? 28, 29, something like that.
28.
Gus makes a little continuation semi-bluff here with King of Hearts. And Ron, he's got an open-ended straight draw here, kind of, but
Semi-bluff, he's got the best hand.
he doesn't have any hearts. So I can't, and he's going to move all in here.
You got to have heart. He's got an open-end straight
Yeah, he's
draw.
got an open-ended straight draw, but he doesn't have hearts in his hand. Maybe he just thinks that Gus is full of it here. And Gus actually has the best hand with King High right now. And he's got the King of Heart draw. It's 160 more. And the pot is probably about, I want to say maybe 350, 160 more.
So it's
but
about half
yeah, he's putting Gus to the test, though, with one card to come, right?
I don't know. I don't like the play.
It's not really a great.
I mean, I
hand
make
here.
a lot of plays. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, you guys see me make a lot of plays, but I think there's a method to my madness. And here, with one card, semi-bluffing is a strong play in the limit, but not on the turn.
Right.
And there's 3 to a flush out there, and you don't even have a heart in your hand. But it's going to work for him here. It looks like.
Yep, and he's going to take it down.
Maybe I haven't been watching this game a lot, so maybe he's using his image. I have no idea, but.
It works.
I would have called. Well, the pot didn't look that big, so it's probably about. Because you got to think logically, right? If he's got the nut hearts or if he's got the flush, is he going to bet that strong? He's going to let you bet it? What's he doing?
Right.
Is there any questions?
Yeah, I get an email here from Keith Byer. He says, I got a simple question for you, Ken. What's the biggest prop bet that you've ever made? Or what are some interesting prop bets besides that weight loss bet?
All right, you guys ready for this? This is going to really show my stupidity, what I'm going to tell you. I lost. I made a prop bet that dealt with the weight bet for $20,000, in which I made the weight and won the bet and ended up losing $420,000.
With something else, with some other prop linked to the bet?
Linked to the bet. How can you win a bet? I won the bet and lost $420,000. How strong is that? Now that's strong.
Are you going to clue us into what happened?
That weight bet ended up costing me $20,000 a pound. Almost $20,000 a pound because I lost 23 pounds, $420,000. Almost 20,000, about 18,000 a pound. Now that is a weight loss.
Right.
Bet. Huh?
Yeah.
That's strong. That's bigger than any Jenny Craig diet, or bigger than any Nutrisystem or gym or anything. I mean, that's an expensive weight loss bet.
Yes, that is at $20,000 a
So
pound.
you want to know about it, I'm sure.
Yes.
But we're coming up. Let's look at this hand.
Sam here has bet with ace-8 as a
Ace-8.
total bluff, and Gus is going to check raise. He
Man.
bluffed trip sixes.
I want to get in this game. And look at ace-5 of diamonds to get the nut flush draw. This will be interesting to see if he calls.
He folded like it was nothing there on the paired board. Ace-5 of diamonds out of there.
Love it. I love it. I love that play.
You love the fold there with the nut
Yeah.
flush draw on a paired board.
There's principles involved in poker. And one of them is you don't draw to a straight or a flush on a paired board. I mean that's a principle. I mean you don't always follow the principles. Obviously, I'm not preaching like I'm perfect or anything.
Look at this. Gus made the check raise, and Sam re-raised him as a total bluff. And now Gus is going to move over the top all in. Sam re-raised there with ace-8, and these guys are just playing back and forth and back and forth
Right.
here, kind of.
I think he should have let him, let him, just call him and let him continue to bluff off the rest of his chips. He's got a lot of chips there.
Yeah.
Why push him off the pot unless you think he's on a flush draw? But even if you do, sometimes I'll let that turn card come, and people disagree with that, but I want to see how the board develops. Number one, if it develops to a flush, I can save money.
Right.
Number two, if he is on a stone cold bluff like that, I'll allow him to continue to bluff off his money. So
Obviously a little different, a little harder to do out of position, right? Like Gus was. Gus was out of position there with the 6-5, so a little bit more harder to do.
yeah,
In position, kind of an easy, smooth call if you think the guy's full of it.
exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Here we go again, nut flush draw against the idiot end of the flush draw.
Ron raised here with king, queen of clubs. Got a call here by seat number 9. That's Sam.
Sorry, I coughed there. There's a cough button I'm supposed to press when I cough.
It's okay.
Should come with a disclosure that all is a pit.
And Thomas is going to be in there with that little ace suited that you like. And C3's in there with a little suited connector. Now, Dave is dominated by Ron's clubs. So here we go, 4-way action here. Jack 8-7. Now, Adam's got the best
Jack,
hand.
is that Jack?
Yeah, Sam's got the best hand over here with Jack 9. He's in position, Ken. And he's gonna bet at it, it looks like. And he does. He's going to bet 50.
Well, see, this is the problem. Sam is just constantly coming after these pots. Kind of like I do, but you got to show some hands down. And I don't know. I've been watching this. You can tell me whether he does or not.
I don't think he's shown down much that's been winning here tonight.
But yeah, he's got top pair. I mean,
Yeah,
he's got top pair and a gut shot straight draw, so he's got a pretty decent hand.
He does have the hand. We got another email here as a question from Mark Wanagara. He says, how much are you going to play in the World Series this year? I love your articles in Bluff Magazine, he says, and that's a good question. I find it interesting that a lot of the high-profile tournament talent, and I definitely consider you to be one of them now, really, you almost look at like to maximize your television exposure. You know, there are events that are overlapping again and again, especially this year. Are you really going to look to just play in those events where the final table is going to be on ESPN?
Well, I think a lot of them are these days. You know, last year they televised almost every event. You know, so, but no, I'm really going after a bracelet this year. So I'm going to play as many events as I can.
Really?
Probably all the hold'ems.
Yeah.
And I'll play a few of the other goofy events, you know, like Triple Draw or Raz or something like that.
Look at this kind of guy with Pocket Kings tried to get tricky with it. He did not raise pre-flop, and he didn't get the limp re-raise. And I got to tell you, with that board, I don't like that flop 6 ways. 9, 6, 7 with 2 hearts. Now, does he throw a little bet out here? No, he checked it from up front, Ron with Pocket Kings. And
Well,
Gus is going to bet with top pair here in position with Jack 9. He bets 20.
he's probably going to just call with the kings. Once you start this line of play,
Yeah.
you generally start going down a path of destruction.
Well, he's going to make the check call. You're right
Yeah.
about that.
And now a scary card's going to come on the turn.
And Sam makes the call
Watch,
with Bob.
I don't know what's going to happen, but I guess a scary card's going to come
Well,
on
that's
the
pretty
turn.
scary.
There it is.
How about a third card?
I mean, it's just, you can feel this game. It's just so weird how it happens.
Third heart,
now, yeah.
one liner to a straight, and it gets checked around, and
Yeah.
the river's a 4th heart.
Yep.
And look at that!
The
Look at
7 of
that!
hearts wins.
One card to a straight flush.
It's just so predictable.
And
this
Sam
game.
has the straight flush in seat 9. He's got the 7 of hearts. Oh man! How do you like your kings now without a heart?
You know, look, he's just going. I don't know what he's thinking. He's thinking. He's a little bit mad at himself.
Oh, look at this, Kenna. Sam from seat 9, he checked the straight flush with one person to act behind him. He didn't bet it, and he didn't get a bet there. By
You know
Gus.
what? Those of you who've downloaded this show, we play this hand on all facets on how not to play a hand of poker.
And we see this time and time and again every night here on Live at the Bike.
Well,
It's
and
amazing.
believe me, I'm not holding myself up to be any, because I haven't had a winning session, so I can't really talk. But
But you know, the thing is, you were talking about your style, somebody who Sam was trying to push around the table style, Kenna. If you're going to bet your bluffs, why wouldn't you just bet the nuts there, too, right?
exactly,
And that is unbelievable.
it is unbelievable. But you know, hell, what can we do? We can't do anything. Nice hand. Take the money. Well, see, they're talking about it right now.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Now, no one had a higher heart in their hand, though. What are you going to do? Bud moves over here to seat 4. So we're definitely going to see you tomorrow if you are out of the tournament.
Tomorrow night, I'll be here if I'm out of the tournament, and I'll be playing. I'll be looking to exact some revenge. Thank you, Mark, for your comment, and
Keith.
And Keith,
Yep.
appreciate it very much. And don't forget to set that line
Yeah.
on 2+2.
I'll ask about the line. And go to
Yeah.
KennaJames.com and check out your new website.
KennaJames.com. Check out my website. I'll make a post tonight. I've been a little lax this week.
You make you have like a journal entry or
I have a
something
journal,
like
a
that. Cool.
blog entry, but I've been pretty exhausted, as you can even hear my voice coming back from the trip. So I look forward to seeing you guys all tomorrow night.
Well, it's always a pleasure,
Thanks,
man.
Bart.
Thanks for stopping
Dave,
by. Good luck.
thanks for giving me the microphone. You guys are the best, man. I love you guys. Ronnie and Garo with the hand signals. Way to go, man. Huh? It's like a football game in here. 1, 2, give me. Hut, hike. Ooh. You guys can't see behind the scenes here. Believe me, they got the hand signals. They got the. I mean, it's great. Cocktails. Never did get the slice of pizza. God love
Sorry
you.
about that.
Great to see you guys. See you tomorrow.
All right, good luck to you tomorrow, Ken.
All right.
Well, that's Kenna James, as always. Very, very entertaining. We wish him well. Again, you can go to KennaJames.com and check it out. He says he will post a journal entry and get on that line, 2+ tours. The odds of him winning a positive session, Dave.
Yeah.
Dave is back.
I'm back. Always fun to see Kenna James.
Yeah.
I gotta say, he is just a class guy.
Absolutely.
Really
Yeah.
a class guy.
You know, the funny thing about this game is that it's just interesting how it happens. He comes in, we were talking about other stuff, nothing was really going on
Right.
in those hands because I was watching, just a bunch of chops and stuff.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, kind of a couple interesting things that we talked about happened. The straight flush with Adam at the end in seat 9.
How do you check a straight flush? I mean, don't you bet that hoping somebody's got a king of hearts? Put him to the test?
It's just unbelievable what we see here, Dave.
Oh, man.
As always. All right, here, we got another chip count here.
5,000 on the table, folks. Gus has got the most money. Francois with the second most money.
Yep.
Let's see the difference, folks. And let's see it. Come on, give it to us. There it is. Gus up 700. Francois up 500. Eric is the big loser so far. He's down $700. Hasn't come back at all.
We had an email here from Tipper Gore. It says, kudos on the BIOS, guys. It's nice to get some background on YouTube vocal commentators out there. I must admit, Dave's profile was fairly typical, but I found Bart's profile somewhat offensive. No, I apologize for that.
Jeez.
Oh, man. And then I get a bunch of emails regarding the question that you had. Sorry that we haven't followed the action that closely with Kenna James coming in, but we'll get to all this stuff here. We're only about halfway through the show, Dave.
Yep. You know, it's funny. I would have loved to ask Kenna that question. What he would have done, because he knows Corporation Mike.
Right. You should have written something or told me.
I was going to, but
Yeah.
you know what? I didn't want to bug him too much. You guys seem to have a nice rapport going on.
Ace 10-6 here on the flop. And Sam, who's really driven this table, Dave, as I've been watching, he's been real aggressive. But we talk about how he's almost playing old-style Corporation Mike-esque. Really playing a little bit backwards, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's betting big with his bluffs and not betting his big hands.
Well, we see a lot of, I see a lot of players that are kind of like, they come from the school of, okay, I'm going to try to run a table over.
Right.
And they don't realize the value of betting all your hands.
Yeah.
They always play backwards.
Right. So we got to the little email here from, or the post by Bill Schumann regarding that hand. Then we have another post here from about, maybe almost a half an hour ago.
From Andrew
Lichenberger.
And I guess I just want to update everybody. I'll update in a second after this hand. Eric seems to have queens here. He's going to raise.
He's going to raise it up.
It doesn't look like anybody's got much of anything. It'll probably go fold around.
Yeah.
And it does. Okay, anyway, once again, the question was, we're playing big, no-limit hold'em. Mo is in a hand, heads up against Mike. Mike raised. Mo in position re-raised Mike $600 with pocket kings.
Yeah.
Mike calls. Flop comes out. Now the pot is $1,200. Flop comes out ace, rag. Mike checks in early position. Mo, what does Mo do? That's the question now. What would you do? What should Mo do there? And if anybody's not sure exactly who Mike Corporation Mike is, he is extremely loose aggressive player.
All right. This is because Ken has come in here, Dave. We've got a bunch of posts here.
Yeah.
So you can kind of look through this, and I'll call the action for a while.
Go ahead. Let's see what I got.
We got one from Shady Poker, and we got some others here, too. So we got a raise here by seat 3 with King, Queen offsuit. And he's going to take it down, it looks like. I don't know if seat 9's going to get involved here.
Keep it half the price.
He folds, and seat 1 is going to fold, and Dave takes it down.
This is interesting here. Shady Poker. He says, well, normally I think it's an obvious bet when check to in position when you have the betting lead with King, even
Right.
on an ace-high board. But against Corporation Mike, I think I might have to check it back, since you know he is liable to check raise you with crap, or with a set, or even, say, a small ace. So with that said, he says, I think you have to check it to contain the pot size,
Yeah.
try to keep it small, and by doing so, Mike is likely to fire a pot size bet on the turn and river. Now, since there's smaller bets and a smaller pot size, maybe you can call those. You can obviously read them after that. Interesting post by Shady Poker.
Yeah, we just showed Card Sharks. You can check out these guys' their website, cardsharks.com. They make poker T-shirts. And we're going to see more of them. coming up in the near future. More of their apparel and such.
Sweet. There you go. Another one from the guy. He says, the Mike Mohan. He goes, well, I would bet about half the pot, about 75% of the time. Or I would check behind. Okay. He says, well, the only problem with the latter play is if I check it behind and then Mike bets a pot size amount into you, what do you do on the turn?
Yeah.
Well,
Question here from Weinstein saying, how old is Jonas? Because he seems pretty damn good. I think he's about 28 or 29, isn't he, Dave?
yeah, I don't know.
Not sure.
I mean, it's funny with the new age of internet poker and
Yeah.
stuff. You know, poker age is
Right.
no longer kind of doesn't really go along with your
Yeah.
actual age. I mean, sometimes I'll sit down with a guy who looks like he's 17 years old, but he probably has more no-limit hold'em experience than I do.
Yeah. Buttons moved over here to seat 1. That's Eric. And I'm sorry that I did not get a chance to ask Kenna about Schneids, who was actually the winner, who's a pretty frequent 2+2er.
There you go.
And that was a great opportunity that just didn't come to me. Sorry about that, guys. Limped around here. Looks like we got 6 ways.
6 players.
9-5 rainbow. Interesting to hear about that prop bet that Kenna had with Mike Sexton regarding the weight.
Was there? I didn't even realize what it was.
Seat number 3 is going to bet here. Dave, he's got top pair. He's got big lick, as we call it, 96, and he's going to take it down.
Lines.
There we go.
Yes, sir.
Button's going to move over here to seat 2.
Small blind.
Hey, look, Kev Matt's already come out with odds here.
Yep.
Chances that Kenna will come out ahead tomorrow, 7-1.
Yeah.
Chances that Kenna will lose at least 5,000, 9-2. Chances that Kenna will lose at least 10,000, 3-1. Chances that Kenna will suffer at least 3 bad beats, 1-5.
I don't think the odds should be that high, Dave, against him coming out ahead tomorrow.
No, definitely. Well,
7-1.
the only thing I'll say to you, what are the chances that he appears on the show tomorrow?
Well, that is true because
That's the
he's
odds.
going to play
Exactly.
over a
So what are the chances he
415
plays?
tournament. Yeah. I mean, he's the type of guy that might go out early, you know. So.
Yeah, he definitely gambles. He's not looking to survive, that's for sure.
5-way action here. It's limped around queen, deuce, queen here. And no one really has anything here.
Go ahead.
Looks like it's going to get checked around here, but Francois is going to bet here, Dave. Seat 8. He's got ace 10, and he's got the best hand with ace high, and he's going to take it down as it gets checked away.
Yeah, no, but he even plays limits, right? But he's no limit. You can listen. You have restarting games. You do.
I like this one. Jay Siegel here. What are the odds Kenna gets a DUI on his way home tonight?
I don't know if Kenna was bashed by 2+. He was talking about how he's been bashed by 2+2. I don't know if it's just he was talking about the fact that people kind of make fun of him when he plays cash games here because he donks it up a little, or there's some other thing that's been going on with regards to the party poker tournament. I'm not privy to that information.
As far as we're concerned, I mean, he's been on our show a lot, and he's unfortunately for him lost a lot of money on the show.
Yeah.
So a lot of times our 2+2ers, the ones that watch our show,
Right.
will often rag on his play.
Yeah.
You know, Kenna might be a great tournament player, but he has no idea how to play cash.
Right.
They'll do that whole thing.
We got a raise here by Gus out of seat 2. He's got king 10. He's going to raise it up to 30 here.
It's a good call. He's coming in just so fast. I was
there, right. 25.
And we're going to see a call here by Kyle with ace queen, Dave.
Yeah, I don't know. I was playing. I was baking. One of those hands, huh?
Francois got a little queen 10 garbage over there. He's going to make the call. He's dominated with his 10. And 3 of the 10s are dead. Sam's going to call with 9-10. So 4-way action is about a $100 pawn. Here we go to the flop. Oh, ace 5-8. Now, Kyle's got the best hand. Remember, Gus was the pre-flop raiser, and Kyle's going to bet right out here with ace queen. He's going to bet 100.
Yeah, well, I mean, Kyle has bet his hand all night, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Hasn't really messed around.
I'll keep my mouth shut.
And he's not going to get any action here.
No, nobody else has got anything there.
Yep.
Yeah, they were. It's funny. I was out in the during the plaza, and Mo and Steve Flicker,
Yep.
and a couple other players were all wondering, "Hey, where's Kenna? We locked up a seat for Kenna." And I tried to explain to him, look, wait, slow down. He's in the commentary booth, right in there.
Right.
Wait, slow down. He's in the commentary booth, right in there.
Right.
Give him a couple of minutes.
Yeah. In the 5-10 game, the 10-20 game.
They just opened the 10-20 game, actually.
Yeah.
So they've got 2 5-10 games going and a 10-20 game going. And Ken is going to be playing in that game.
Well, I mean, he's the type of
Actually,
guy.
over on the left-hand side.
You know, he's the type of guy that you can,
Check it out later.
you might want him in the game, but he's not stupid. He can take a lot of money from you too. I mean,
He's a very good player. The only reason you want him in the game is because it creates action for the entire game.
Right.
I don't necessarily want to get my money from him, but I might get money from somebody else who adjusts their play because they're playing against Kenna.
30.
Gus is going to raise it up here to 30. And it's interesting also what Kenna said. I was wondering if he was going to concentrate more on the televised events, as some of the really high-profile guys say they were. But he's chasing, I guess, the points race.
Yeah.
And he says he wants just to win a bracelet. So he's going to try to enter as many events as possible.
It's funny. Up until last Wednesday, where he appeared on Travel Channel for World Poker Tour, and now he's got a second-place finish in the Party Poker Million.
Yeah.
Kenna was kind of... Obviously, people knew who he was.
Right.
But now he's much more recognizable, obviously.
Yeah. Shitty Poker's throwing a little screenshot of Kenna's chest hair here.
There you go.
2 down. 3 down.
But, if you win a bracelet, that, even if you're not on TV, that creates a lot of attention, obviously, in the poker world.
Absolutely.
One's the least in.
Well, nowadays, yeah.
The prestige you get from having a bracelet, it's...
4 down, 5 down.
It's funny, I was talking to Todd Brunson about it, Doyle's son, about the notoriety of getting a bracelet
He's going to fire.
during the World Poker Tour Invitational. And he said, it used to not make a difference. He said they never really cared about it. But now, the value of them is huge.
5-way action here, limped around. Sylvester's got top and bottom here, Dave, but it's very connected. Queen 9, Jack off of spades. And Dave is on the nut flush draw, and Francois open-ended.
Yeah, interesting hand.
And Sylvester checked it from up front. I assume he checked it with the intention of check raising. Dave has bet 35 here. Let's see if Sylvester makes the check raise. Yeah, he's going to raise it up here, Dave.
And it looks like he's raising it just the minimum? Is that?
Yeah, he's raising it up the minimum here.
Well, if you're Dave, you can certainly call that.
Turn here is the 5. Well, Dave picks up a pair now.
Well, he's got more outs now. And now any ace, any 5, or any spade, he's got
right.
the winner. He might even be able to represent if a 10 were to come off. Maybe he can represent, let's say an 8, a 10, or a king comes off. Can he represent the straight?
Right.
And that's something, if you're playing deep stack poker, those are things you've got to think about here. You've got to go, well, is this guy betting queen? Maybe he's betting 2 pair. Or in that case, there are a lot of cards that I can either win with or can represent.
And it's a $75 bet here by Sylvester out on the turn.
Right. I mean, let me throw this at you. If you're real deep here, you're betting 75 with your queen 9. Let's say the river comes out a king. How comfortable are you with queen 9 then? Maybe
You're not really comfortable at all.
Was this guy calling you with an open-ended straight draw the whole time?
Right.
I'm actually more comfortable if 10 were to come off than, say, a king or an 8. I don't really want to see a king, an 8, or a spade.
Well, Dave is going to make a smooth call here. And here we go to the river. And the river's an ace, and there's one of Dave's outs.
Yeah, he had a lot of outs there. It's going to look like a bad
Now,
suck out.
Sylvester checked it, Dave. Do you put a value bet in here with ace 5?
I think you have to.
What do you put Sylvester on here? And Dave looks like he is going to value bet here.
Yeah, why not?
The pot is about $350.
He did.
Sylvester checked.
Especially because you're not that deep. We're not talking about,
Right.
we're not talking about putting a $200 bet and then getting check raised 1,000 more.
Right. Well, he checks right behind him, though,
Yeah,
Dave.
he's going to check behind.
You know,
Probably a little
at
value
that
bet maybe.
point, I think if I have Dave's stack, which looks like only about 175 left, and the pot's about 400 or 500, why not move in? Because Sylvester's going to call you with queen 9. He has to.
Yeah.
He might think you're on busted spades, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that Dave missed a little value bet there, for sure, on the short stack.
Yeah. I mean, I was only wondering, and I don't think Dave was going to do this, but I was only wondering if a king or an 8 had come off, could have he represented that straight?
Caption here for the screenshot. Ken is showing off his Asian nipple while Bart realizes he has a new best friend. There you go. There you go. Button's going to move
I was
over
going to say, I mean, I know
C6.
you like the guy. He's a really nice guy. I like Ken too.
Yeah.
Coming here, you called him a godly presence. Godly? Jesus, the guy's a poker player. We used to be like riffraff, okay? Poker players used to be the scum of the earth. Now we're godly presence? Actually, well, I'm not. He is.
That was my point. That's my fault.
We're heads up here. Queen 9 against Ace 10.
Wow, and Queen 9 flops a straight. It flops 2 pair again.
No, Ace 10's got a gut shot to the jack.
Yeah, I think the ace
And Ron checked it, and look at Sam checked right behind him. Well, the turn's a king now.
Doesn't really change much.
What's that?
And now Ron has got a flush draw with 2 pair. He checked it again, Dave. And the river's
Wow.
a jack.
And this is interesting. Now, Ron has made a straight.
And look at this. Ron has made a flush. Sam has made the nut straight.
Exactly.
Ron checked it to Sam. Sam bet. Ron never put any money in there on the flop or on the turn.
The amazing thing is he checked the river.
So not only had a
Does Ron realize what Ron folded the Queen 9 of hearts? Ronnie, do we have the hand up right?
No, there's no way. we
Because that hand really played out strangely. Dave,
Yeah, there's
that
no
was
way.
right. I
No
just
chance.
can't buy that. Ron checked the flop, he checked the turn, and then when he made the
flush,
second nut
he
flush,
checked
he
and then
checked
threw it
fold.
away?
No way. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Sorry about that, folks.
he raised.
And once again, we are live, unedited, unscripted. We do punch in the cards manually,
Yeah.
and every once in a while we make a mistake. Okay, I apologize. I'm not going to make any excuses for Ronnie. Ronnie screwed it up, folks.
Although we have seen the fact that guys do misread their hands sometimes, too.
He could have.
You know,
He definitely could have.
definitely have seen
He
that.
could have had it in his head that he had like Jack 9 maybe of diamonds. Who knows?
Button's over there in seat number 7. Yeah, we're playing 5-5, 300 to 500 no limit hold.
Rolling around the floor and they're screaming.
You can always email us at liveatthebike.com. Questions, comments, suggestions. Post on 2+2. We got a raise here by Francois. He's got pocket 10s and a small blind here, dude. He's going to make it 30 to go.
Now, when I walked outside of the production room here, while Ken took over for me, Francois came running over to me and said, "Listen, there's a reason why I'm playing like a donkey, okay?" And I go, "Why?" And he goes, "Well, I'm not getting any action, so I'm trying to liven it up during the show, so everybody gives me action." I just kind of killed his cover there. But I don't buy it.
Gus made a call here with the student connector, and we're heads up. 10s against 5-6. Now, Gus is in position here, and look at this flop. Overcards to Francois' pair, and Gus has got a flush draw. But Gus checked right behind. I think they're going to check it down, which actually is not allowed on this table. New rules at Live at the Bike. No soft playing.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that was so much soft playing as the fact that Francois didn't really like his hand, and Gus wanted the free cards.
Well, I knew it was soft playing when Francois checked and Gus checked and said, I have a flush draw, and I went check, check, check,
Right,
check.
right.
Anyways.
But I mean, the only thing I'll throw at you though, do you really think if Francois had aces, do you think he checks it, or is he pretty comfortable checking 10s there because it's King Jack out there?
I have the button too.
Button's going to move over here to seat 8.
Okay, let's go Wayne. Yeah, let's see how much. Your jackpot.
Button moves over to seat 8. Small blinds $5, big blinds $5. Once again, you're watching me live at the Bike, folks. I'm David Tuckman here with Bart Hansen. Gus is first to act. He's under the gun. He's got 5-3 offsuit.
Someone's gonna race. No. Just call for. Everybody call for.
And wow, it looks like looks like we're gonna have a family pod here.
I don't even know why I'm calling, you know?
I don't even know what I have.
What the hell are we doing? No, we're spicing up the game a little bit.
And we got this 9 ways, folks. Good luck. And look at this flop. It's ace, jack, jack. A couple of players have aces out there. Nobody has a jack. Nobody's jack. Ron and Sylvester have the best hands right now. Sylvester actually has the best hand right now. It's 8 kicker, but it's likely that it's not going to play.
Bet is flush draw.
And Ron is going to bet $20 into a $50 pot. Eric is calling with a gut shot straight draw with a paired board out there. And 2 spades out there. Eric also has backdoor spade draw.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
And let's see if Sylvester's going to call this 20 out. No, Sylvester's going to get rid of ace-8. Wow, he had the best hand. He throws it away. And we've got ace-deuce against queen-10. I don't mind the laydown. You probably put one of those players on a jack and think you're drawing pretty much dead. But Ron's got the best hand here, and he's going to continue betting. And he takes it down, and I think he wins a t-shirt here. And the funny thing is he actually works for Card Sharks, and he wins himself a t-shirt. Congratulations, Ron. Isn't that the first rule? If you have a business and you want to give away a free t-shirt, you got to make sure somebody else wins.
What's the fun in that?
Once again, if you want to check out liveatthebike.com, the website, you can check out Bart and myself. We have our bios up there. You can go to our commentators, read our bios. You can also check out my blog, Under the Gun. Or you can go to KennettJames.com and check out his blog.
Yeah. He said he's going to post something up tonight.
Tonight, cool. I got to tell you, he looks exhausted.
Well, I think he probably is exhausted.
Yeah.
I mean, my goodness.
Is that my size?
You know, it's funny.
We'll put it on your car.
I asked him about limit tournaments, and I thought it was interesting. And what I said was true. You know, I still consider myself, David, I think you do too, as we get to the next hand here, king, queen, 10 with a couple clubs.
Not a terrible flop for C1. He's got top pair plus an open and straight draw.
Yeah, he's going to bet 15 here with king, jack.
Now, Sam's got a flush draw. Is he going to get involved, do you think?
He's got a low flush draw here.
I mean, how much heat can Eric take?
He's in position, though. He's on the button. Let's see what other people do in between.
I mean, if he raises this here...
Oh, I can't believe Ron is calling with pocket 5, Steve. Wow, that's amazing.
Wow, that's a real loose call, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, you could be drawing dead.
And Sam is going to call then.
Just call.
Here we go to the turn. The turn's a 6. Sam picks up a pair now.
Yeah, and obviously he doesn't know if 2 pair are good, but we know they are good. Any 6, any 3.
Ron's going to bet 40 now. I mean, excuse me, Eric's going to bet 40 now. And Sam's going to call. And again, we've got the same situation here.
And he needs a 6, a 3, or not a 10. That's not going to do it.
Eric might just shut down here, Dave. He's going to check. Well, I think he did check. And Sam can't think that his hand's going to be good in the showdown, but he checks behind him. Well,
yeah.
Maybe he figures he's just not going to get.
He might have just thought, you know what? I'm not going to get this guy off the king. And if I bet, will he buy anything? Can I represent something there?
The other thing you have to look at is the type of player that is Eric advanced enough where he might get off of that hand. You'd have to put the guy probably on Jack 10 there, right? Jack 10 is a possibility.
Definitely.
Right? It's a possibility. But of course, Eric had a jack in his hand. Guy be betting busting clubs. But anyways,
also with Sam's image, you wonder if a bluff would have worked. Who knows?
I still think that we both consider ourselves good limit players. I think that we just don't necessarily play the game in a ring game format anymore because there's so much more money to be played in no limit hold'em. But I always liked limit tournaments, and if the opportunity arises for me to play again in a World Series in a limit tournament, I'll take it.
Yeah, definitely. Why not?
I think what he says is true. I think a lot of people don't know how to play limit, especially in tournaments.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It was one of the things. I mean, actually, one of my best finish ever at the World Series was in a limit tournament where I finished in 11th place.
Right.
And I found that most players in limit hold'em would call the big blind almost every single time automatically because it's only one more bet. And invariably they would miss the flop. They would check to you. You could bet and take it away. And also people would call and call. It just
the other thing too, you got to have the day of the tournament player now, where all they play is say 90-95% no limit, and now it's the World Series, so they'll try their hand in the limit, but they really have no clue. I saw guys limping in with deuce four clubs under the gun. I played in the $1,500 limit event, one of the first events last year. Limp in with king deuce of clubs.
They just don't realize there's no value of those hands in limit hold'em, and that goes the same for tournaments.
Right. Yeah. We're not going to see a flop here for the second straight time.
I love limit hold'em. I think it's a great game. But like you said, it's not really a matter of what game you're best at. It's more a matter of where can I make the most money these days.
I mean, you would probably have to play limit at probably, I would say, at least a 50-100 limit or a 60-120 every single day to probably make what you can make in, say, the 5-10 game that we play, right?
Yeah.
If you were really good with huge variance swings,
Yeah,
right?
pocket aces. Wow, look at this. Pocket queens for seat 4. That's Thomas. And pocket aces for seat number 9. And that's Adam. And Adam has been, I'm sorry, Sam. Why did I say Adam?
You know, he's firing.
I said the same thing.
Adam was last night's seat 9 player, maybe?
No, sometimes you just look at the AM and you think it's Adam. Well, he's going to raise.
Okay.
And you wonder now, Sam's image, is Thomas going to come back over the top
Well,
of
that's
him
the thing.
small blind with queens here?
So the one advantage to giving action, like a player like Sam, you get action.
Look at this. Eric's going to call with a dominated king queen.
Oh, and he's in terrible shape. I mean, he's got to catch running kings
And
to win this hand.
let's see what Thomas is going to do. Yeah, he's going to raise, Dave, and the image has worked to a T right now.
Yep. Now you wonder, is Thomas playing him, or is just Thomas looking at his queens going, queens, I got to re-raise?
I think Thomas watches the show enough, and he probably is experienced enough where if a tight player came in for a raise, you might not always re-raise out of the blind with queens, right? He re-raises here to, it looks like, 90 total, or 100 total. So it's about 75 more here for Sam. Now, is this raise big enough where you might actually play a tricky and smooth call here, thinking that Eric might leave behind you? You do have position, right?
You know what, though? Against a player like Thomas, look how much money he has left.
Yeah, he only has maybe 150 or 200 left.
I might put another minimum raise in there and get all his money in there. I don't think he's going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
I think he's pretty much representing either ace-king, pocket kings, pocket queens, or pocket jacks. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. Pot's going to be too big.
Well, Sam is always, he's been slow playing all night, Dave.
Yeah. I mean, the only thought is, do you want to keep in seat 1? And in this case, I mean, he's in great shape. I mean, Eric's in terrible shape. There's only one queen out there left. And Eric, to win this pot, would need, he'd need to hit a straight.
Well, Sam is going to come back over the top.
Yeah, another hunter, I think.
And this would be a hell of a laydown in a restricted buying game here with queens.
Yeah,
He's got about 200 left. He has re-raised you when you re-raised him, and the pot now is about 300. He's mini re-raised him, Dave. He's made it 100 more. He did exactly what you said.
I mean, I'll tell you, and see what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I mean, I have no problem laying down queens here. You've got, in a cash game, you have to realize that queens are very vulnerable.
And we know that one of the queens is already dead, Dave.
Oh, this would be a killer beat if Sam lost his hand, and there's only one queen left.
And Sam has the
could be it.
heart. Turns an 8. Thomas needs a queen and only the case queen, and it does not come.
I told you I'm not the winning hand.
I had one of your hands.
Shot fire.
We can do it.
Now, kings are obviously a little bit different, Dave, obviously, right?
No, there's just one. Obviously, if you start putting somebody on a range of hands, what would Adam raise with? Well, that means anything.
Right.
Okay, now I raise, and what would Adam re-raise me with? And you go, well, he'd do it obviously with aces, he'd do it with kings, he'd probably do it with queens, but I have queens, so that's probably not very likely. Maybe he'd do it with ace-king.
Yeah.
So you start thinking of all the hands that he might have. And then at that point, you can kind of go, well, man,
Yeah.
if I put him on aces, kings, or ace-king, okay, well, one of those hands I'm 50-50, and the other two hands I'm badly dominated.
Right.
Well, I want to get a little bit more here, but I wasn't.
How are you going to do that?
Now, Ron's got pocket aces now in seat 7.
And I'm going to call 70 more with my king queen offsuit. That's
I gotta tell you, surfing a line now with those feed problems, huh, Dave?
Yeah, I think you should buy a new computer.
Wow, pocket jacks here for Eric.
oh sorry.
Wow, and aces for Ron and sixes for Dave.
We got a raise here.
Call me sir.
I believe Eric is going to bring this one in for a raise out of seat 1, and he does.
Oh, he was raising 6. He exited on a turn.
He's going to make it 60 to go.
Honk. I guess I wasn't paying attention. You were too worried about.
I'm too busy stacking the chips over here.
He's made it 60 to go here.
I'll win. I'll give you $2.50.
$2.50 fair enough.
3 bet. You call it.
And let's see what Ron is going to do with aces in the
Now,
blind.
there is another player behind you.
He's in the blind.
Now, jacks are even easier to muck, aren't they?
Well, again, it's just one less hand that you can beat, right?
After seeing that, I'd say it's me now.
Oh, the best hand was.
Really milking this one, Dave. We got about an hour left in the show.
Well, he's determined to take the whole hour.
Pocket eights? A little better. I don't know if I should call. Play weak.
Looks like he's cutting out a re-raise.
I mean, you can always make the argument for calling with aces here, and then you're asking for action. You don't mind taking aces 3 ways.
Especially in his hand, because he's raising for his. What do you make, 60?
I don't know. This is the longest decision I've ever seen with aces. And now he's gonna
raise here.
Yeah.
Let's see. It looks like.
And is he all in?
It looks like he might be all in, Dave, for short.
No, 55.
He still has a couple of chips behind. He's got a mini raise. He almost got 80 left, Dave.
Another, what, 60?
55.
He's really trying to finagle. Well, he's got maybe 100 left.
And this is one of those questions, if you're Eric, you go, well, the guy said he had better than 8s.
55, anyway.
Would he make this raise and basically pot commit himself with less than jacks?
You think this could be an easy lay down?
Well, you just got to start putting putting your opponent on a range of hands, right? Like you always say that. And you got to start thinking, what's the worst hand you could have here? You know, obviously there's no implied odds. You're not playing this for set, are you?
Take those away for 100 each.
I mean, you're only in there for $60 now. Now the pot is about, what, 180? 120 to call, and your opponent, you know he's going to put another $80 in there, and you almost have to call no matter what comes out.
This could be the longest hand we have ever had pre-flop, Dave. This is absolutely amazing.
And it's not like, I mean, you almost think one guy has kings and one guy has queens. I mean, this is aces and jacks.
Yeah.
Oh, for this whole hand?
Yeah, for the whole hand, Eric.
I've only taken 42 seconds.
We know that.
Yeah, no, okay. I'll raise another 120.
Yeah, he's just going to put him in here, Dave.
Whatever you want to do. Do you play or not?
No.
And he wants that to play. That's not a good sign.
He might have me.
I hope we didn't pressure Eric into making that call, but...
Well, unfortunately, we have that 5-minute buffer that we can't catch up to, you know, because we've got the 5-minute delay to protect the integrity of the game. Here we go to the flop. No help for Eric. He needs a jack. Still needs a jack. Here we go to the river.
Not a jack.
Nope.
Everything in between. Everything in between.
There it is.
Yeah.
Again, you can email us at live@thebike.com with questions, comments, suggestions, as always. Appreciate it. You can also check this show on a live loop. It started about an hour after the show has ended.
I gotta make a stand.
A little bit better.
And it will replay throughout the day tomorrow, Dave, all the way up until 5 p.m. Pacific time. Also catch the week on a rerun on Sunday afternoon starting at noon Pacific time. And you can sign up for the archives and have access to every show that we've ever done.
You know what? I was trying to sign up, and I couldn't sign up. How do I do it?
Click on the on-demand archive button on the upper left-hand corner at the live@thebike.com webpage. Get you access to the Inside Straight,
Kind of the same thing.
which is under March 2006, which is a special, one of the our first special segments that we're going to start filming here at the Bike regarding strategy.
It's kind of a poker roundtable,
Yeah, we
right?
take your email questions about strategy and put them up there.
Weird.
We asked the local pros about what their opinion is.
6-way action, and it's linked around.
Open-ended straight truck with Eric here, and it is a rainbow board. He does not have a diamond there. He does not have backdoor diamonds, but it's a pretty good flop for his hand.
Well, Sylvester's going to come out
Ooh, and look at Ron's got a set of deuces.
Yep, Sylvester comes out and leads with Queen Jack.
This
And
hand
I
could
wonder
get
if Ron's going to take this same amount of time as he did with aces before. Well, it is a rainbow board here, Dave.
I know he wanted me,
And it looked like Ron is just going to call.
I gotta tell you, I mean, I like these Card Sharks t-shirts, but it takes that long to make a t-shirt.
Eric makes the call. The turn's an ace. And again, you know, this is going to be probably an action killer
Yeah,
here.
Thomas is out of the hand, by the way. Thomas is not, and nobody has an
Sylvester with Queen Jack, Ron with a set of deuces, and Eric with a straight draw. Wow, look at this. Sylvester's going to bet 150. He figures, you know what? I might be able to get a better queen out of the hand.
Yeah. Well, all those players called. Why not? And this is going to get really interesting.
I don't know
here.
what's Sam was chasing a gut shot to the jack,
You got aces raised.
and let's see what Ron is going to do.
Let's help you out.
$150 bet here into a pot that's about 100. So the pot's now 250, 150 to call.
Oh, wow. And he just moved all in.
Yeah.
And Ron... I'm sorry, it's Ron with the deuce.
Yeah, Ron's moved all in here.
And Eric's going to fold this Jack 10. For some reason, I thought Ron had the Jack 10, and Eric had the deuces.
Now, Sylvester made a big bet here with Queen Jack, figuring I might be able to get somebody off of a bigger queen.
Hell, I thought I was going to win it on the flop.
I mean, at this point, I know the pot odds, whatever, but I mean,
Well, let me
I
ask
got to
you
put
this.
the guy on aces up, and I think I'm drawing dead here to a queen game.
Is there any way Ron makes this move, and especially
Yeah,
with the call,
Sylvester's
though?
gonna make the
Is
call.
there any way you can make this move where it's like King 10 of clubs?
Open.
Not from what we've seen tonight. River's at 9. Ron fills up.
Yeah.
Come on, open.
Now against a tricky player, you could possibly put him on, say, King 10 of clubs.
The problem there with Sylvester, though, he bets so much on the turn. Again, it's a restricted buying game. He's committing himself, I guess, because I guess he's had it in his head that he's going to call with Queen Jack there.
Yeah.
But when a guy raises you on the turn, there is no way that hand is good. And when the ace comes and he raises, I put the guy on aces up or on a set, and I am drawing dead 2-2 outs.
Right. Is there any way he has 2 pair? Queen 9? Flop 2 pair?
Okay, but still, I'm still drawing dead to something else happening.
Well, now I can catch an ace, a jack.
Okay.
I'm just trying to throw some of the cards
I
out there.
know.
I'm trying to give more
Right,
outs.
Right.
Because obviously, part of kind of a theme of our show tonight is, are there times when the pot is overwhelmingly giving you good odds?
Right.
Should you call with a hand that you might be drawing dead with? I mean, sometimes it's really, you put that tough situation.
Yep.
And if you put them on 2 pair there and you go, well, wait a second, now if I catch an ace, that gives me 3 outs. Or I can catch a jack, that gives me 3 more outs. Do I have the odds if I have 6 outs? And then obviously you've got to figure it out. You still might not have the odds.
Limped around here. 4-way action. Ace 8-9 with a couple of diamonds. Francois got ace 8 in the blind. And he says check raise. He's got 2 pair. And he checked it from up front. Gussie's going to bet on a flush draw. He bets 25. And I assume that Francois is going to check raise.
Yeah, true to his word, I'm
with
sure.
top and bottom.
That makes sense.
What's that?
And he makes it 75.
Have what?
50 more here. And Gus immediately calls. Boy, that kind of smells like a flush draw.
Yeah. Well, it could be a straight draw also, but it's probably more likely a flush draw with 2 flushes out there.
Turns 6. Francois checks. And Gus checks right behind him, and the river now is a 7. And how is Francois' 2 pair now? Gus has nothing here, but can he represent if Francois checks to him again? Francois and Gus is not going to fire out at him.
Yeah. And you know what? If you're not going to represent something else, if you're just going to hit the diamonds,
Either that or you
I mean, do you really think you're going to get paid? It's one of the reasons I'm not a big fan. We heard Kenneth saying, straights, flushes, and sets are where you really double up. Those are the big hands and no limit hold them. And I'll say out of those 3, flushes are my least favorite because they're the most obvious. Even the most inexperienced players are scared of 2 flushes. And when the 3rd flush comes out there, they immediately assume that you might have it.
Double gutters and sets probably being one of the higher ones, right?
Double gutters are great. I mean, one of my favorite hands now, actually, is if I have Jack 10, and the flop comes out Ace, Queen, 8.
Right.
If a king comes off, I've got the nuts. If a 9 comes out with the nuts, and nobody puts you on it ever. But it's just as good as an open-ended straight draw. I mean, I love that kind of hand, because oftentimes if a flop comes
Nuts
out...
on both sides, too, remember.
Right.
Unlike other maybe open-ended straight draws where you might only have the nuts on one side if your high side comes, right?
Well, Jack 10 is obviously one of the only cards where if you make a straight using both your cards, there's always the nuts. The nut straight, that is. But I also like it because the flop comes out Ace, Queen, 8, right? It's a little hidden. Nobody sees the straight. And the likelihood is that it's hit somebody else pretty good. Somebody else has probably got a big ace.
And I'll be the first to admit it. I don't remember exactly what it was, and I don't want to be reminded of
You're not going to see a flop there on this hand as Sylvester raised it with ace king and he took it down.
Hey, remember Kenneth James? I want to say it was like 3 years ago World Series. Was it 2004, 2003? Where he was in a hand with Howard Lederer, and he zipped up his jacket to hide himself when he had pocket queens against Howard Lederer. Yeah, and Howard Lederer actually, we'll get to Chip Count, I'll say it in a second.
So Francois up at about 1,000. He's ruling the table here. Let's take a look at the differences.
Not much chip movement tonight, huh? I mean, the big winner's only up 500. The big loser's only down 430.
Eric's kind of stayed pretty close to where it's been since the beginning of the show when he lost to Francois. And Francois has stayed pretty close to when he sucked out on Eric.
Exactly. And nobody else has moved much at all. Anyway, it's a really interesting hand because I think Lederer raised the sevens, and Kenneth James re-raised in the queens. And then Howard Lederer kind of studied him for a while. And he literally put his head inside his jacket and zipped it up. And after about 2 minutes of Howard Lederer studying and thinking about what to do, Lederer folded and said, "You can come out now." And Kenneth James said, "Whoosh!" And in pure Canna form, I didn't know who the guy was at the time. But I wonder if anybody remembers that. I think that was Kenneth James.
Sam made a little mini raise here out of the blind with pocket threes. And Ron re-raised with ace-8. Wow, it was limped around. Sam made it 10 out of the small blind. And Ron pulled the limped re-raise with ace-8. Wow. And the flop comes 10, 7, 4, 3 diamonds.
Well, I guess, they're on to Sam being a little bit loose, aggressive player.
As you can see here, Sam has the best hand, but Ron's a favorite with the flush draw and overcards.
Yeah, I mean, this is a flop. Why even get involved? You got threes here. Get rid of it. I mean, what are you gonna check call him the whole way?
Come on, let's go.
I don't know what it is about this game, Dave, but it sometimes drives me to drink or drives me to pull my hair about the pace of the game.
Oh.
It's
more on this show, though. It's like they're playing it for the TV.
Yeah, the 3 to 5 game. It's more the characters that are on the show,
I tell you, Live at the Fight, they think this is like TV time. They're going to be stars or something. Come on. I mean, he's in clearly a raise fold situation here. Pretty much fold.
How much is it?
I don't think you can just call this.
You have no idea where you're at. The
What are you
only
gonna do?
thing that's going to improve your hand is 1 out, right? The offsuit 3 on the turn. And you still don't even know, necessarily, if you're good. I mean, the 3 of diamonds comes on the turn. It's a 4 flush out there, right?
The likelihood is that Ron has missed also. So even if you hit the 3 of spades and you bet, you're not going to get any action.
Go ahead.
And Ron's going to show him the bluff. Show the fact that he limp re-raised with ace-8 offsuit. Bud's going to move over here to Sam in seat 9.
I mean, there are sometimes, it was funny, as I was talking to Mo about that play against Corporation Mike, one of the things we were saying was, you know what, sometimes you just got to pick your spots.
Yeah.
You can't make a stand every single time you think your opponent is bluffing, can you? I mean, I guess you can, but,
You've been doing that all
man,
around the table. Nice on the
you're going to be making a lot of stands.
Medcrew3 at AOL.com emailed us and said,
Just give the guy easy. I love it.
oh, sorry. Oh, he doesn't give his name.
I know.
Who's the hottest chick in poker? Kathy Liebert, Barbara Enright, Annie Duke, Phil Hellmuth. Take your shot.
Well, I think those are his nominees. I don't think those would be your nominees today.
I'm telling you, Annie Duke really looks good these days. You've seen her on recently.
Hey,
4-way action here.
money does wonders, doesn't it?
Ace, Queen, Jack here. Eric's in there with Ace-7. It's the best hand right now. How do you like your hand with Ace-7, though? He's going to come out and lead.
He's
Wow.
going to find out.
It was a raised pot, too, and he called him small blind with Ace-7. He's going to bet 30 here.
Kind of a weak bet, huh?
There's just... This is part of the reason why you don't play Ace-7 up front for a raise.
Well, to me, I mean, if you're going to call with Ace-7 offsuit,
Yeah.
and I don't advise doing that, but if you're going to call, you got to put out a real bet and see really where you're at. Because the problem is you might even get called by some guy with, like, King-9, just hoping you had a gut shot. I'll take one off.
King, spades, 9 of clubs, right?
Yeah, something like that, exactly. You don't get enough information betting $30.
Well, Sam has got middle pair here. He's got Queen-9.
And that's exactly where you're at. At $30, he might just say, why not?
Doesn't have spades, though.
No. No, well, $30 is going to get it done. What the hell do I know?
Nothing, obviously.
Yeah. Turn would have been an ace. River would have been 4.
I figured as much.
Got an interesting email here from James Wrangle. He says, everyone in their poker career takes a rough beat or is drawn out on, even if they played the hand to perfection. My question to you guys is, how do you handle a rough beat in such a way that you don't pull a mic and cuss out the person that beat you out of the pot? What tips would you guys suggest when you're having a session where you're making the right reads and bets and just not running them? Well, it's a good question, Dave. And you've seen me play, and I've seen you play. One of my strong points, and I think that you do it to a point as well, is kind of keeping composure at the table.
Right.
You know, we had a friend that was a prop here, left about almost a year ago now, who had horrible composure at the table, right?
I mean, we've talked about this all the time. You cannot stay, you can't keep your emotions out of the game.
Right.
You cannot be successful.
Got a raise here by King, Queen of Diamonds by Sylvester. Eric's going to call with Queen Jack. He is dominated. Gus has got Jack 10. Kyle's going to call with 96 suited.
The big lick, huh?
Rolls out to get Sylvester. So here we go, 4 ways. It's a $100 pot.
Well, Sylvester still has the best hand, but how does he know that?
He did not bet it. He was second to last in position. Well, wait a minute. Let's see here. Yep, he did check, and everyone's going to check.
One more hat. I need my 350.
Turns a queen. Gives Gus a gut shot. Eric and Sylvester both have the best hand now. Sylvester's going to bet 40 here.
Did you say Eric and Sylvester both have the best hand now?
Sylvester's got the best hand with the
okay.
With the pair of queens, excuse me if I said that. The river here is a jack, and now Eric backs.
Well, maybe that's why you said it.
It gets checked to Eric, and he's going to bet.
Why not?
He bets 50. I love the look of the bet here. You might think that I would think that Eric wouldn't bet a weak ace here. So maybe he's on busted spades. So he value bets Queen Jack, and he's going to get paid off.
Yeah. And Sylvester has not had the best of it tonight.
And again, we talk about Sylvester. When he's not on tilt, he's a good player. But he's an example of how he lets his emotions sometimes, dictate his play, Dave.
And I'm going to make a prediction, and I like Sylvester. He's a good guy. And we say 90% of the time he's a good poker player, but I am going to predict that Sylvester will probably blow through his last 100.
Just
in the next
pure
15
tilt.
minutes. Yep. We'll see what happens, but I would not be surprised at all if we saw a little tilt here by Sylvester. Just knowing him. And watching him numerous times. But obviously there's a difference between going on tilt and letting a bad beat set you off, or letting a bad beat and you go off like, let's say, George Georgian did the other day. Remember when he berated the customer next to him? You're really good at actually keeping your composure there when you get a bad beat. I mean, how do you do it?
No, it's just something I was never. I never let my emotions.
I think you just got to realize that when you sit down at a poker table, that's part of the game. That happens. And expect it. It's not. Don't. I mean, I think you actually have to expect it, right?
3-way action here. Ace, King, 3 with a couple spades. Ron's got the best hand with an ace.
And nobody calls this. And Ron takes it down with top pair, queen kicker. Button moves over to seat number 3.
They should have language today.
She does, but they just, dude, she works like 12 hours a day. Freaking, she runs the whole dental office, and I mean, they are packed 3 days.
15.
She's gonna have to get a better job if I keep getting cards like this, I tell you. Tough and stuff, don't you?
What's that?
And I believe...
You lose that hand or win that hand?
Yeah, Sylvester made it $15 to go with 6-3 of spades. Under the gun. See if Tuckman, the prognosticator, is right here. Once again, Sylvester in seat 6 with a 3-flop razor under the gun with 6-3 of spades. He gets 3 callers. And the flop comes out 10-8-8. Thomas is open-ended.
Yep. Couple diamonds on board.
And Sylvester comes out and bets $40. Now he's lucky enough that nobody's really got much.
No one has
of
anything here, really.
I mean, if Thomas moves in on the draw, he'll beat him with 9 high, though. And you wonder if Gus is just sensing that he's on tilt, but Gus only got jack high.
Remember here, if you're in the situation where You know, if Thomas were to actually move in, if you don't think Sylvester has anything, now obviously in that case I think Sylvester would have called. Well, actually he didn't have any more money left. No pair with a draw is favored over no pair without a draw.
Right, right.
So even if Sylvester had something like Ace-King there, right?
Right, you got to realize there's no fold equity there.
Right.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, when he didn't get paid.
But I can tell you, in that case, I might just as well move in, get some implied tilt odds, hope that Sylvester doesn't have anything, and hope I catch it. It's only
Hope that he has like
$4.
ace queen, right?
Yeah, right?
That's not a bad shot at it.
Especially if he's going to rebuy, right?
Yeah. Now, if Sylvester wins a couple of hands like that, he might actually get himself off tilt. See there, he tried to give his money away.
See, number 9 here is going to raise to 30 with King Queen offsuit. He's going to take it down.
Once again, we're live at the bike, folks. I'm David Tuckman here with Bart Hanson. We also had a guest commentator, Kenneth James, in the booth tonight. Fresh off his second place Party Poker Million finish. And we're playing No Limit Hold'em blinds of 5 and 5.
Got a little over a half an hour left in the show. Button moves over here to seat 5.
Make sure you catch us tomorrow night. Tomorrow night we've got No Limit Hold'em again with 25-50 blinds, folks. Big game tomorrow night. Unrestricted buy-in, minimum buy-in of $3,000. And that game plays real big.
By the way, that was great restaurant in there.
Put some chips in there. And now it's call. Yeah, but
Straddled here
I already said call.
by Francois.
You have to put verbal is binding. We don't care if it's verbal or not. You have to put verbal is binding. You're not calling all in. You're just calling 10 bucks. Verbal is binding.
A little discussion about, I guess C9 didn't know that Francois was straddling.
There you go.
And what you say, Dave, about straddling is if you're never going to raise it out of the straddle spot, there's no point in straddling.
Not
right?
really, right. And if you're never going to raise it,
Yeah.
what are you getting by straddling there?
King 7-5 here with a couple clubs.
You know, you're putting more money in the pot out of position. You're putting in a third blind.
Let me ask you a question. Now, you don't normally straddle, I know, but when you straddle, it's a purpose. The play table's real passive. You want to get it bigger. What's the cutoff point where you will raise? Will you raise something like Ace-9 out of the straddle spot?
Well, it depends on who I'm playing with and what my image at the table is. If I'm trying to loosen up a table, I might raise it deuce 4.
Sam is going to come out and bet on a gut shot. It got checked around on the flop.
Let me see it. Let me see it.
You know, if I don't think, if I think table's real passive and they're just limping in and nobody's got a real hand, I might raise it deuce 4 and show it. And by doing that, I suddenly get a lot of free cards later on because now they start limping in with the big hits.
That smaller one?
Rivers is 7 now.
Yeah, and Jack High is the best hand, folks.
Yeah. Something be a cardigan at me.
And look at this. He's going to bet out as a bluff here. He's going to bet 130 thinking he needs to bet it. And Ron is going to do a little acting job here. And Sam is going to take it down. Button's going to move over here to seat 6.
It won't shrink. It won't shrink? Just hang it.
You wash it, hang it up, put it on a hanger. I never dry my t-shirt. My wife does all the time.
Sylvester's got the button here in seat 6. Got a King 10 offsuit over there in seat 4. King Jack suited in seat 2.
And speaking of tomorrow night, by the way, tomorrow night's action should be unbelievable because our winning of the green tournament tomorrow is $1,000 no limit hold'em.
Yeah, we might have 2 or 3 of those 20.
Oh, it's going to be huge tomorrow.
Raise here by Gus. He's going to make it 25 to go with King Jack of Spades.
If you want to play in the tournament tomorrow, actually, it's a 4:15 start tournament, $1,000 buy-in no limit hold'em tournament. The prize pool will probably be somewhere around $200,000. And obviously the action will be unbelievable in the plaza. A lot of 25, 50 games, 10, 20 games. 5-10 games, a lot of action.
Yes, 8 o'clock.
Gus takes it down. Kind of an unremarkable night here so far, Dave. It's kind of been a little bit slow. Luckily, we had Kenna come into the show.
Yeah, the 5-10 game is, I mean, the 5-5 game, sometimes, it's a mixed bag of nuts. You never know what you're going to get.
Button's over there in seat 7.
Speaking of a mixed bag of nuts, my wife is taken to feeding our local squirrels.
Really?
Yeah, with our nuts.
You know that squirrels are rodents, right?
Yeah, well, the worst thing, though, is the squirrels are burying the nuts in our backyard. They're taking the nuts and then going in the backyard and storing around and burying them in her pots, in her
What,
beds.
for the
flower
winter?
beds.
Burying it for the winter?
I guess so, or just for later.
Yeah.
My dogs actually they're out there, the gay one and the straight one. They're in the backyard, kind of digging for the nuts now because they smell
What kind of nuts?
all sorts of nuts.
Cashews, pistachios.
Yeah, like a mixed bag.
Got a little raise here by
Macadamia.
Ron. Ooh, man, I love those.
Aren't they great?
Ron made the raise with Ace Jack. Anybody out there knows been at Fenway Park? There's this old Italian vendor. I don't even know if he's there anymore, but he always was when I was a kid. He shouts, peanuts, pistachios, Cracker Jacks in this big Italian accent. And you can hear him from like 100 yards away.
It was probably different than that.
I can't even speak right. Got a call here
And
by
he's, and he's
Eric.
been doing it for like 40 years.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
I love those guys.
You can hear it from, like I said, from a football field
Does he
away
throw
from
'em?
Fenway.
Does he throw 'em
No,
at
he's
anybody?
just screaming though. He's an outside vendor, not
Oh,
in
okay.
the stadium,
Okay.
but out on the street on Causeway.
Right.
5-way
players.
action.
Wow. Big pot here, $125. Yeah.
7-4 deuce rainbow.
Eric's hit top pair. He's got backdoor hearts. And he's in good command of his hand here.
Well, Ron was the pre-flop raiser.
And he's going to bet. I mean, Ron is going to try to take it down, and he's not betting. He's not betting small. He's putting out a real nice size bet here, betting $100 into a $125 pot, and really putting Ace-7 to the test.
I mean, does Eric get involved here? I mean, this is the situation with Ace-7. It's like
out of position. That's not really the flop you're looking
I mean,
to
he's
hit.
got
is
the
it?
best hand, Dave, but if you continually make these calls in early position and then get involved with a flop like this, I think it's negative.
Yeah, I mean,
negative EV.
I think it's definitely a better flop than hitting your ace.
Yes,
I mean, you're
that's
definitely looking for sevens, hearts.
Right.
Maybe a call one time and see what happens on the turn. But if your opponent has overpair, you're in really bad shape. And he's not going to get involved. He's going to throw it away. And that's the problem with playing that kind of hand out of position. You often find yourself either, calling with an inferior hand or sometimes even laying down the better hand.
If people are having some streaming problems out there, again, I want to encourage you to stick with it. Button's going to move over here to seat number 8.
Interesting post here by Copper Drake. First of all, I called me Tucker. I'll live with Tucker, I suppose. Tucker's not. I'm not a big fan of Tucker though. Tuck, Friar Tuck, Tuckman, Dave, Tucker. I don't know. Anyway, he says you hit the nail on the head there, and that's the reason if he plays 10, 20, or 20-40 limit instead of no limit. He said that people are so friggin' slow in these small no limit games, even on no-brainer decisions, that he gets twice as many hands in limit hold'em as opposed to no limit hold'em. And that is the truth. I guess the only difference though is in no limit hold'em, you can win 1 or 2 pots an entire night and come out way ahead.
No, I definitely agree with you because I see sometimes, players that are waiting for a limit game hop into a 3 to 5 no limit, and they can't stand the face.
Yeah,
because it is, you might get half as many hands. Wow, C8's got pocket kings here. Francois going to raise. He made it 30 to go, and Sam is called here with 9-10 of hearts, and we're heads up here.
Well, you know what? I got it.
Gus is not in the hand.
It's interesting here. Now Sam's got a pair, and the dangerous ace is out there.
And it goes check, check. Francois did not bet. The turn's a 4. Check, check again. Yep. River's a 3.
And now he's going to bet.
Yeah, I think that Francois is going to call here.
Well, I mean, he's trying to represent like he backed into diamonds here.
So if he doesn't,
He's showing him kings here. I mean, he checked the flop behind him in position, checked the turn, and now he's just going to fold the river.
Yeah, I mean, the only hand I buy here is is backdoor diamonds.
Yeah, if he's getting.
I mean, I think he's got an ace. He probably bets the turn, doesn't he?
I mean,
He showed him the kings, and he does call. He makes the call.
He calls, and yeah. Sam says good call right away.
Yeah. Francois takes it down.
And I guess Sam put him on exactly that hand, either jacks, queens, or kings, because he figured his tens were no good. He had to bet it. I don't think he thought he was betting for value.
you know, and they're big. I had a guy that coached him. He's been with the Twins.
Button moves over here to seat 9. I know you're itching to read this email, so go ahead.
I was just curious. I mean, obviously, everybody knows I'm a diehard New York Jets fan, and they finally traded their cancer, John Abraham, to the Falcons for a first-round pick. So I'm kind of excited about that. The Jets have the 4th pick in the first round, the 29th pick in the first round, plus the 4th pick in the second round. So they're going to get 3 pretty good players.
Button's going to move over here to seat 9. I'm still really interested in how T.O. is going to fit into the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey, did you hear his rap song?
No, I didn't.
He came out with a rap song, basically saying, Philly sucks and Dallas is great. I'm a Cowboy now.
One thing about Bledsoe is he's such a putz. He's definitely not a leader like some other quarterbacks. It's just going to be funny to see what happens,
Yeah, but he might throw 30 touchdowns next year, throwing the ball to T.O.
Limped around here. Sylvester had 9s. He didn't bring it in for a raise. And we get 6-way actions, a $30 pot. 10-4-4, and we get 7-4 over there for Gus.
Not a bad flop for Sylvester at all.
Gus is in the big blind with 7-4.
And Sylvester looked like he's calmed down. I got to give him credit. Normally he would have, probably tilted towards money. He tried to at 6-3 of spades, but he seems like he's calmed down here a little bit.
Sylvester bet 15.
15?
Yep.
Wow.
And Eric is going to call. He's got a 4. He's got Jack 4. He's got Gus out-kicked. He just some smooth calls.
Oh, man.
And so does Gus. No one has shown any strength with their 4 yet. The turns is 6. Wow. And Francois called with ace-jack.
And this pot is about $100 now, folks.
At 18 years old.
Now, we've seen Eric pull the check, call on the flop, and lead on the turn, and I think that's what he's going to do right here. He's going to lead on the turn. And now if you're Gus, I mean, you got to think that Gus is probably think he's going to raise here, right?
One hit shutout through 8.
He's going to bet 50, and his kicker will play. We can see that,
Wait,
right?
can you raise though with 7-4? Hey, man, a guy bet in 3 calls on a flop of 10-4-4.
But they had one.
I mean, obviously, you can beat 5-4, you can beat 4-3, you can't beat 6-4 anymore.
It looks like Gus has got...
Actually, I mean, his kicker still plays, but barely.
And Gus is going to raise. He's going to raise it up 50 more here. Now, these are the 2 blinds. So, if you're in the blind and you're up against the guy you think you're in the 4 in the field, Dave, I think you think your hand is good here with the jack. But Gus could have a better kicker. He's the big blind.
Well, the big difference here is that his jack is playing. Gus's hand, I mean, the odds of Gus's 7 playing are very slim.
And Eric's trying to talk to Gus here.
And you see, the overwhelming, Eric's 79% chance of winning this pot.
Yeah.
Gus needs a 7 and only a 7. And obviously the 24% that you don't see is a chop pot.
And Eric makes the call. Here we go to the river. The river's a 3.
Well, that's one less hand you can't beat now. The 7 plays.
And it just gets checked down here. Eric just kind of was happy to win it there in a showdown, I guess.
Tough team, man.
I mean, the hand that you can be concerned about is obviously you can't beat 6-4. You can't beat Queen, King, or Ace 4. You say, well, how is Gus in there with King, Queen, or Ace 4? But he's in the blind.
Who knows?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the point I was trying to make.
Good point.
Out in the field, again, when you talk about those having trips with a middle card, you got to put the guy. Say he's got trip 7. He's probably got 5-7, 6-7, 8-7, right? 9-7, maybe 10-7, possibly.
Right?
Right? It's one of those things when you're thinking about it. Are your trips good?
At that point, let him
Got about a half an
The only
hour
reason
left in
actually
the show.
7-4, I mean, I might just call him there.
on the turn. He's in a groove. He's shutting them down.
Anyway, getting back to the tough beat question that James Rango threw out, I just want to try when you sit down at a poker table and a player who's a fish or you think's a donkey gives you a bad beat, You don't want to berate that player. Instead, you almost want to encourage him to keep playing that way.
Right.
Because think about it, if he never won and he never sucked out on you, well, then he would stop playing bad.
Sylvester is going to raise. He makes it 45 to call.
That's it. 70, 80.
Eric is going to call with Queen Jack offsuit here on the button. And again, Queen Jack, Dave, Sylvester doesn't have any money. We talk about the value of Queen Jack in terms of in-line odds. When you're up against a raiser who's got $50 behind, it's almost like a re-raise or fold, right?
Yeah.
Three-way action here. Gus is in there with King 7.
Look at it. Sylvester has actually kind of raised with a questionable hand, but he's hit open-ended straight draw here.
Yep. And he's going to bet here. I think he is betting 45. I believe he's got some. Does he have any chips left, or is he 45 all in? Yeah, he's all in for 45.
Yeah, I don't think anybody can call him here. I mean, Eric's got a gut shot.
Yeah, he's got a gut shot. And Gus has got bottom pair.
You didn't go to that.
I didn't even go to
He's going to call? Maybe he's going to call.
Well, again, you talk about those.
He's played with
tilt
Sylvester.
odds.
Yeah, he's played with Sylvester. He knows Sylvester might have nothing.
And he makes the call. The turn's the king, and now Gus has two pair. Sylvester needs the straight card, and the river's a 4. It doesn't get there.
And I think I was correct. What did I say? How long did it take?
Yeah. Well, the funny thing about this, I can see the screen there on Sylvester, and he's not blowing up because he didn't have anything. But let's say if, for example, he had ace-queen there, I think he'd be pissed.
Yeah, definitely. Sylvester was just wondering, how do you call that?
Got about 20 minutes left in the show.
No, whoever it was who lost their first game from the loser bracket came all the way back and won the thing. I think the Foresters won it all.
We split a doubleheader with that too one weekend in San Luis Obispo. We had a good pitcher. He had 11 strikeouts against the Foresters.
New player in the game coming in. It's actually going to be Boston. Although Boston was playing in the bigger game, I'm not sure if he's going to want to come over. It'll be interesting.
I play first base, bet like 8 on that team. There's a lot of guys.
Got a $20 raise here
Ex-pro. There's guys that
by Ron with King Jack.
But we compete with those guys. It's cool. And then of course the San Diego Stars. They're kind of like, and they're a good team too.
They got burnt in the tournament out there. They missed their first game.
So Ron's raised with King Jack, and Sam is called with 3-5. And look at the flop for Sam here.
The only problem with this, we talk about this all the time, is, okay, great, you hit your trips.
And look at it, it goes check, Dave, of course. Turns a 7. Now he's going to bet.
Now he's going to bet, and
he's trying to hopefully, Ron, he's hoping that Ron has an ace here, but Ron can't even call here with the king.
Yeah. And that's one of the things we always say. We go, not only do you have to hit your hand when you call with a kind of a speculative hand like that, you have to hope your opponent has a big hand that you're going to get paid off of.
Right.
I mean, that flop's got to come out king 3-3 or jack 3-3 for you to make money.
Button's going to move over here to seat 3.
They were like, do we have the same coffee cup? They were like, he put it on secretary's desk, and she thought it was a cup of coffee.
And pocket queens here for seat 7.
Gary Wine, he should spit in a coffee cup, put it on a secretary's desk. She thought it was their coffee.
Ron brought this one in for a raise last time, but we got jacks over there for Eric, Dave. Jacks for Eric.
Come on, Donkey Fire, slow the pot.
Ron's going to raise. He's going to make it 25 to go. Francois is going to call. And Eric is just going to call here. Well, he's going to re-raise. He's going to re-raise here. He's going to re-raise it to 100 here, Dave.
And Eric's at the short end of this one. I mean, last time he was up against Ron had aces and Eric had jacks. And what does Ron do here with queens?
75 more.
You bet. Now, this gentleman has re-raised you. Might you just smooth call with queens and see the flop, see what happens? Put you in a tough spot. You're out of position with queens.
Yeah, huge. It's all money. Canada would get big prize money. No, get it. Hey, I'm not going to say nothing out of respect for this gentleman here.
You be the witness.
And
Ron looks like he made the call here.
Yeah, he just smooth called. Pot's about, what, $150 now?
Yep.
Because nothing else goes on during this week. It's late August.
Here we go.
Shoot a flop.
Don't mix it.
And look at that flop, ace 9-4. And the question here is that Ron checks it, and Eric bets. Is he going to get him off the hands? Now, if you're Ron here and you have queens in this situation, do you ever put out like say a $75 bet about a half the pot, see where you're at?
That's what it looks like he's going to do here.
It's not a bad spot to put a bet in there, because if your opponent has kings, you can get him up the hand.
And he bets.
It's kind of an informational bet.
He bets 100.
The problem is if you get called one time, you're pretty much done with it. And look at that.
He had the best hand, and I think he's going to get Eric to lay this one down.
I mean, you definitely put yourself in a tough spot when you smooth call the queens there. If a flop like that comes out.
Interesting information about Eric I didn't actually know until I started talking to him.
Yeah.
He's actually pretty much, he was a professional baseball player, made it up to AAA, and made a 40-man roster, I think, for some organization. I don't think he ever played a game in the majors, but definitely, that's pretty far.
Oh, man, that's great. That's like that guy in Field of Dreams. Never gotten at bat. He never gotten at bat.
Played half inning, right, in the field?
Yeah.
And I'm pissed off at Eric.
You got a whole list of people.
I'm really pissed off.
What was that guy's name?
You got a whole list of people.
Kevin Costner and, what's his name, picked him
I
up.
have one like 500.
You're going to have two. Kicker problems.
He raised and he has kicker problems. Let me shoot him in the park.
Oh, Eric's really taking awfully long here with this decision. And he's gonna let it go here, Dave.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know what? You can't beat ace king, you can't beat kings, you can't beat queens. And the funny thing is, if Eric had just smooth called him one time, probably could have taken it away from him. But you know what? Once again, you pick your spot, don't you?
Who was giggling? I heard like some girl giggle just right now.
Button's gonna move over here to seat 4. Interesting email here from Kirk Bromberg. It says, David, find Bart a girlfriend, a dog, or a good book. I don't really know what to take from that.
He says, you two make a cute couple.
That's my last time, guys. It's better be 8. I'm not calling.
Okay.
See you.
Do you want a girlfriend, a dog, or a good book? Which one would you rather have? I say go for the
book.
Yeah, the book or the dog, man.
Gus has got King Jack of Hearts here. Looks like he's going to raise it up a bit. He's going to raise it to 25 here.
I want to thank William Frick for his email. Appreciate it. Hope you had a good time in your cruise, buddy.
Kyle's going to call with pocket 4s. And Eric is going to call with a King 6 suited here, Dave. 3-way action. Ace 7 deuce. Eric's got the nut flush draw.
Yeah, nobody else has much of anything. If Eric puts a little money in the pot, I'll probably just take it down right here now.
He's going to bet right into Gus here. Yeah, who's the pre-flop raiser.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
That's a terrible flop for King Jack of Hearts, isn't it?
He's bet.
I mean, if you can actually put the worst 3 cards out there for King Jack of Hearts, that's pretty much it.
Gus is going to fold, and so is Kyle. And Eric takes it down there. With the third best hand, Dave. Powerful Bravo.
Yeah.
Power of the semi-bluff.
Once again, we're live at the bike, folks. We're playing No Limit Hold'em blinds of 5 and 5. I'm David Tuckman here with Bart Hanson. You can catch us every Monday through Friday from 7 to 10 Pacific time. Tomorrow night's game is a 25-50 No Limit Hold'em game. Big action.
Unrestricted. Let's take a look at another chip count here. Well,
Ron really made a nice run up there, huh?
We kind of creeped up. Now we're up to almost 5,700. We started the night off around 48 on the table. And the difference is there. Ron's the big winner here.
And Eric's made a little bit of a comeback, only down 330 now. Sylvester's our big loser, down 500.
Yep.
Ron now up over $800. Not bad for this game. And I'm still trying to figure out what a good hourly rate is for No Limit Hold'em. You know, I've been talking to some people. I've actually been checking it out on 2+2. You know what some people say they do. I'm just curious.
Thomas is going to bring this one in for a raise with ace-10. Ron calls with queen-jack. Sam has got deuce 4-7 off suit. That's the hand that he made the straight flush with earlier in the night. He's not going to play it. And we're heads up here. Ace-10 against queen-jack. Here we go to the flop. Oh, ace-8-3 here. Thomas has got top pair.
Yeah, Ron's completely missed this.
And Thomas is going to bet. And Ron's going to fold.
Don't even waste time.
I want to thank everybody that's invited us to their space and
Their space and my space.
And my space, yes.
Yeah.
Check it out. We got a couple of new. Go ahead.
Seat 3, Seat 4, and Seat 7 represent Card Sharks. You can check out their website at cardsharks.com.
That's Card Sharks with the X on
Card,
the end.
yes, SHARX.com. They make poker t-shirts. Check that out. Card Sharks.
Kind of cool. You can also check out our website, liveatthebike.com. We've got a couple of new features on there. Terminology, if you're wondering what some of the words we're using. We also have my blog. We also have our bios up there now.
You can take a look at Tuckman's blog at Under the Gun. You can take a look at some of the terminology we use on the show under As Seen on Live at the Bike, and take a look at our commentators for our little bios on the website. Check it out.
You know, it's funny, I read your bio, and there's some stuff I didn't know.
But if he gets
Really?
interested at all,
Did I play scat when I was like 5 years
Yeah,
old
I
with
didn't
my
know that.
grandfather?
Were you playing for money?
Yeah, it was for dimes.
Done.
Yeah. $40 raise here. Buy seat 3. And he's got deuce 5 offsuit, Dave. He's going to open it up. Now, Gus had limped in with pocket 8s from seat 2. And he's going to make the call. Now, Dave can follow through. Oftentimes we see people raise with garbage, but they've got to represent and use scare cards.
It might be tough.
Hey, look at this.
It might be tough when you take away the pot from Gus, though.
Because Gus has swapped quads. He swapped quad 8s. And look at this. Dave's bet 130 here.
Well, hey, you just told him, hey, why not bet? It's a paired board. It probably didn't hit your opponent. Why not bet it? Well, he tried. Now, when the guy calls him one time, the only problem with betting this flop is you're not quite sure if your opponent has, say, a straight draw, a flush draw, a straight flush draw, or quads.
But what I was going to say, though, is that, say Dave raised with deuce 5 and plucked him with ace king 3. Sometimes it goes check, and you wonder, why?
Yeah.
Right? That's what I mean.
And I don't mind the bet here. I mean, because if Gus has got king 10, he probably takes it down.
So Gus calls. Now, how do you play quads? Could you just lead out on the turn if a big card comes? All right, can I just lead out a little bit now, Dave?
And hope he's betting with an ace?
Yeah, now that an ace comes, do I lead out a little bit? He checks. But you know what? He's going to get Dave to bet again on the ace.
This is not a bad way to play it.
And he has gotten Dave to bluff off almost 60% of the stack now.
And at this point, you probably move in hoping the guy's hit his ace, right?
You know, he's got pocket aces.
Yeah.
He's bet 200 now. He's put in about $400 in his hand.
And don't worry, guys. He makes T-shirts a lot better than he plays poker.
Oh, don't say that. He's played pretty well all
No, he's
night.
actually played great. I mean,
Yeah.
he obviously just picked the wrong time to bluff.
Right.
And if Gus, you know, the funny thing is if Gus has got pocket 6s here,
Right.
Dave probably wins the pot.
And you take a look at what Gus looked over at him. He's like, you know what? Is there enough money here where I can just move the guy all in and he has to call with an ace?
Yeah, the funny thing is, I mean, Dave's got to call him with anything except exactly what he has.
Well, he's just going to call again, and I guess he's just going to lead on the river, Dave. I don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Check call with quads, check call with quads. And the pot is ballooned over $600. The river's a jack. The third spade.
I think you bet it, hoping that your opponent has hit spades or has got an ace, he's got to call you. Yeah, obviously, I'm poking fun at Dave here as he bluffs twice.
It's actually
into
about a
quads.
$700 pot now. It's one of the biggest pots we've had all night. Gus moves all in.
And look at Dave. Dave's going, oh, shoot, I got 5 high, dude. What can I do? And the funny thing is, if he checked it to Dave one more time, does Dave take one final shot at it?
Well, and sometimes we talk about, you know, if you're going to try to bluff, you got to actually have enough ammunition according to pot size. He only has about 150 left, the pot's 700.
Right, he just gave up at that point.
Yeah. And he shows the 4-8s.
Yeah, and once again, I mean, obviously just poking fun there at Dave. I mean, he you can't really fault the guy. I mean, it's hard to bluff out quads.
T-shirt put it all in.
But the spade killed him.
The spade killed him.
Spade killed him. No, you kind of gave it up.
They don't know really.
Yeah, they're all
Didn't have much.
Well, you were counting the pot odds. That's what you were doing. So it's only brought what's out there.
Yeah, but you can't go in with a spade and a pair of
I mean, come on, the pot was $700, $150 to call. This guy's going to call with any hands, isn't he?
He has to, right?
Right.
Got about 10 minutes left in the show here. Button moves over to seat 9.
I guarantee they would fold. That guy would fold. Okay.
You would have folded on the third?
Pocket 8s over here for Eric, or excuse me, for Sam on the button.
I wouldn't have until he said that. When he said that, yeah, I would have folded.
Well, if he didn't say
I knew what he had. No, if he would have
Sam is
said
going to
that,
raise here. He's going to make it
25 more.
25 here.
I would have,
you probably would have.
Eric's got king rag
as soon as
offsuit.
he, as soon as he said that, I knew I was beat. I knew I was drawing dead at that point.
I knew I was beat. I knew I was drawing dead. I love poker players, man. You got to 5 high. He's still trying to show a face. You know what? Sometimes you just got to show that bluff and just go, man,
Nice hand.
I mean, I was going to give you my number.
I was in bad shape.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Moonlight Graham. Thank you, Demon Deke. I appreciate it.
And
Moonlight Graham from Field of Dreams. This guy never got an at bat, but he went to Fenway Park. Remember the whole thing? Oh yeah, I've seen the movie, of course. Yeah.
I don't think it was necessarily Fenway Park, but
No, they went. I'm saying they went. First, Kevin Costner went to Fenway Park. He took.
Dave, I got 300 more coming.
Sam, James Earl Jones.
Yeah,
right,
yeah, exactly.
Pocket 8s against King 9 of Hearts here.
I just gave her
Dave made the call. 6-4-3 with a couple of diamonds.
Well, Sam's got a 8s are good again, folks.
He's got the overpair to the board.
That's the hand today, I guess.
4 or 5 innings. I wouldn't recommend any more than that. He's welcome.
Okay.
And he'll probably get paid for the day.
Come out and throw on your team.
Yeah, he'll get paid. He'll get paid for the day.
And Sam's going to bet, and Dave folds. Dave's going to buy about 300 more.
Hey, so what position did Eric play in baseball? You know?
I don't know. Not off the top of my head.
Okay.
No, I understand. But
You don't know what organization he was with either?
I don't. Okay. Here's Boston's coming into the game. Now, Boston's kind of one of those players, again, he'll play a lot in the 3 to the 5. When he likes the 5-10 game, he'll move up, Dave.
Right. And is Francois gone?
Looks like he is. Again, I often wonder why we put up with his antics, especially in this game.
Francois?
Yeah, when we have a big board for it.
He didn't really do much today, did he?
No, not much, but
I mean, I know he gives Don all sorts of
yeah,
things.
yeah. Donna, our lovely 4 hostess out there.
surprised you kept that. After the call.
Well, I thought I was ahead until
Button moves over here to
once
C1.
he said that.
He's still talking about that.
Yeah, he's
I
still
thought
talking
I
about
was
this
ahead.
That's when I knew I was beat.
I thought I was ahead, but then he said that, so I knew I was beat.
Right.
You had a big pocket pair.
Little did they know when they go back and watch the show, Dave.
45.
$45 raise here by Eric. He's got.
40 more.
I mean, I gotta tell you, when you make a big bluff like that, some people are embarrassed to show their bluffs.
Right.
You gotta own it, man. Own your bluff. Turn it over and own it. I mean, why not just come out and say, yeah, I knew I was beat. I had 5 deuce off suit.
I picked the wrong time to run into a monster, is what I did.
Well, that's the truth. That's the first thing Truthful he said. He said, I picked the wrong time to run into a monster.
Slide.
Button's over there in seat number 2. That's Gus.
Take Dave's money and take your teacher.
What do you think? He was the third baseman or something, Eric?
I have no idea.
Looks like an infielder?
No.
No?
I think he looks like a catcher.
Really? Yeah, I think he'd be limping around now if he was a catcher.
Think so?
You gotta realize, when you crouch down
How about
like
first
that, that
baseman?
is not a natural movement. I don't know if he's quite big in, well, he's
Big
probably,
guy.
yeah, he probably played like 10, 15 years ago too, so it might have been a little bit different then.
Yeah.
You know.
Doesn't seem like it came on.
Got a little raise here.
Came on, it went up.
7-8 of diamonds.
Maybe he's a reliever. Looks like a reliever, a wild thing. Can't you see Eric coming in with his glasses? Wow.
Seat 7 makes a raise here at 8-7 of diamonds, and Eric calls with Queen 10 of diamonds.
You like that movie? Make a movie?
Yeah, oh yeah, I just watched it. It was actually on HBO over the weekend.
Great movie. The first one, that is.
6'5", you called
I actually did a little research on that, and Siskel and Ebert said one of the best things about the movie was the relationship between Bob Uecker and the Color Man, and I agree.
That was,
Yeah.
that was very cool.
King Jack 3 here with a couple of hearts. Well, Eric's open-ended.
Yeah.
Now, Ron is the one that brought this one in for a raise, Dave.
Yeah, and nobody has anything at all. If Ron continues with the bet, you wonder if Eric can get involved with 2 hearts out there. But he also has backdoor diamonds. His hand is not bad at all.
Well, it's going to get checked over to Eric, and he's going to bet. And he's in position. I like the bet a lot.
Yeah. And I don't mind Ron not betting that. Now, if nobody had called behind him, and he was actually in last spot, he's got to bet that on this. So that's the value of betting in late position with 7-8 diamonds. Nice semi-bluff by Eric there. Takes it down. Take it down, Mr. Baseball.
Eric's he's made a nice little comeback, right, after that suck out.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really blame him. I mean, probably down a couple hundred now. And there we go. Kevin Pendergrast lets me know it was Doc Graham, Doc Moonlight Graham.
Right. Field of Dreams.
He wasn't the starting shortstop. He was
You know, maybe we can start fulfilling people's dreams here at Live at the Bike. So we can get Eric one at bat. Although if he's a pitcher, I guess he doesn't really want at bat.
One of the funniest things I look at Field of Dreams now, when we were at Fenway Park, and Kevin Costner bought James Earl Jones a dog and a beer, and bought himself a dog and a beer, the total was $7.
Oh, yeah. Can you even buy one beer for $7? I don't think so.
I mean, the total nowadays would probably run you between 25 and 30, I would think. 7-way action. We had a little raise by seat 6 with Queen Jack offsuit at 15. So we've got over a $100 pot.
And Eric and Dave both have hit an ace. Now, Dave is in kicker problems here. His 9 is in trouble.
Eric's going to come out and bet here. He called with ace 10 of hearts.
Yeah, Ron's got second pair, but not a really good flop with Jack 8 of hearts.
And again, if you're Dave, you're in this. Well, actually, Dave has position. He's on the button here. You say if he's in the small blind, you're really going to get involved with ace 9 here.
I think 2 or 3 people hit that.
He's going to make the call here, Dave.
Yeah, but how do you like your hand if you're Eric here? I mean, you got to look at it and go,
yeah.
Well, I can't beat ace 8. I can beat an ace rag. But I can't beat any higher thing. I can't beat ace jack or ace queen.
We're going to see it heads up here.
I think.
Yeah, Boston's going to fold, I imagine. And the pot now is about 275 as we head to the turn.
Wow, it's a pretty big pot, and Eric's in great shape here.
Turns an 8.
And that makes me a little bit safer, but now I know that I'm pretty sure the guy doesn't have ace 8, but I still can only.
And Eric's going to bet again. Now, as you can see here, Eric's got a little.
That's kind of a blocker bet, isn't it?
Yeah, he's going to bet a little over a 40% chance that he will win this. Or it's actually over a little under a 60% chance.
Nice laydown by Dave,
down.
and I like the laydown there. At that point, he goes, well, you know what? I can't beat an 8, and I can't beat an ace higher than mine, so I'm going to throw it away. And I like the bet there by Eric on the turn. He kind of put sort of a little feeler bet out there.
Yeah.
River would have been a 7, wouldn't have changed anything. A 10 would have played.
Email here from the Duke in Arizona, Tucson, Arizona. He says, could you guys talk about the amount of gamble that a person must possess to be a winner in poker? Can a person with no gamble in him ever be a long-term winner? How big a gamblers do you consider yourselves?
Yeah, I mean, is gamble the right word, or is it more of just like
really no,
having aggressive nature in the sense of like you have the fortitude to be able to push your chips in?
I really don't think I have a lot of gamble in my style. I'm not going to make a call. Like you said, sometimes, you got to look at the overall spectrum. We talk about that term metagame. As seat 2 raised with ace queen and seat 5 call with 5, 6 of hearts, we're going to take a look at it heads up.
Wow. And that's not a bad flop, 5, 6 of hearts at all. He's got a gut shot to the straight.
He's going to come out
got
bet.
Hearts.
He's going to come out and bet here.
I mean, he's now got, he actually doesn't, even if his pairs were not good, you look at the overwhelming favorite he is, even though he's behind right now.
45.
That's 45 here. Now, against an aggressive player here like Gus, would you ever think about check raising here just to get some more money in there, but you'd be scared if you get called?
I mean, I think the best play is to bet it, and if Gus comes up to the top, you move all in. I think if you check raise, the problem is what if Gus calls you?
Right, that's what
and
I'm
you miss
saying.
on the turn.
Because again, if you bet out your sets that way, and you bet out your semi-bluffs that way, if you bet Gus raises and you move all in, it really puts him to the test within something like an over.
Definitely. He's got pocket jacks or queens there. It really puts him to the test.
Yeah.
And if he calls you, hey, you've got a lot of outs.
What I was going to say about the gamble thing is, I am not normally gambling. I'm not going to call like a hand, say it was pure pot odds, that I'm not getting the odds for, Dave, unless I have, if I do, it's for a long-term purpose thing. Like, maybe I'll do it against Sylvester to get him on tilt. Maybe I want to get that image built up that I'm a gambler.
Right,
but again, it's for other reasons if you ever see me do that.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying there.
Finally figured you're going to bluff with the 7-2 off.
It's like Boston's going to straddle this pot out of seat 8, so it's going to be $10 to call here.
I mean, it's funny. I don't really consider myself a gambler. But in the sense of, do I consider myself,
What are you talking about? You gamble on everything you do. Wherever
Okay,
I'm over your
you're
house,
right,
you're
you're
like,
right,
oh,
you're
we
right.
got to gamble.
You're right.
Gamble.
Gamble. Okay, you got me. You're right.
4-way action
I'm a
here.
complete fish, okay? Come on down to the bike and take my money, please.
$40 pot. And Boston's flop trip aces here, but it's ace 3. See how he's going to play it. He's going to lead out, see where he's at. This is the 20.
This is the perfect kind of place where you probably will win a small pot or lose a big one.
Right, flop is ace-6 ace here.
I mean, if you get called, you're probably behind.
Wow, and how about a check raise by seat 6 with a 6?
What do
And
I
let's
know?
see what Boston's going to do now. Now, it's just a little $40 raise. Does he call and sees what happens?
Why not? I mean, actually, you don't know if you're good.
Well, I was wondering if he might fold. Here we go to the turn.
Biggest market in the world.
Turn to jack.
I'm not sure if the guy has enough money to get you up the hand, though.
He checks.
Oh, now he's checking? Maybe check one more time.
And Boston check right behind him. And the river's a 4. And now the guy's going to bet. And you know what? Boston might just make a call here, Dave. This is actually kind of a way of controlling pot size in this little game.
It kind of smells like he has an ace, doesn't it? I mean,
Yeah,
we
Boston
know he
calls.
doesn't, but...
Now, he would have to have higher than ace-7 for it to play here, right?
Right.
Now, obviously, the only thing that Boston actually can beat there if the guy has an ace, or he can't beat anything. But he can only chop it with ace-5 and ace-deuce, right?
Yeah.
He has ace-3, ace-4 he'd lose, ace-6 he'd lose, and anything higher he would lose.
Well, I mean, the guy check raises me, then he checks the turn, and now he bets the river.
Yeah.
Man, it smells like an ace.
This is going to be the last hand of the night. Final email from Casey Buttery. I don't think we've got an email from that person before. Hey, guys. Just wanted to say I appreciate you all giving us the opportunity to see this live cash game play from anywhere in the country. It's very informative. Thanks again. Thanks for
Thank
the
you,
warm
Casey.
words.
And if you want to watch this cash game or any cash game, you can catch us every Monday through Friday from 7 to 10 p.m.
Right.
That's a little better. Yeah.
Last hand of the night here. Buttons over there in seat 6.
Make sure you catch us tomorrow night. Tomorrow night's our big game, folks. Kenny James probably will be in the game. 25-50 blinds.
It's not.
Huge game tomorrow night, folks.
I think we have a little $10 raise here by Eric with 8-9 offsuit.
Really wasn't
Well-
afraid. Might as well get something going.
We talk about sometimes people
Kind
do
of
that as
stop
like as a
raise.
freeze raise or a stop raise,
Yeah,
whatever you
freeze
want to
raise.
call
I like that call.
Yeah. 6-way action here, $60 pot, King Deuce 9.
Well, Ron has got King 6. I'm really surprised Ron actually even called it with King 6, but I guess he was with blind.
Yeah, he was in small blind. He figured one chip extra.
The problem with King 6 is you don't even know what to do now.
Especially say a third club comes out here, he probably won't bet again. Well, here it's a third club. He's probably going to check again,
Right,
right?
he still has the best hand, but he has no idea where he's at.
10 clubs. Now Gus has got a pair and a club draw, and now Eric's going to come out and bet on the 9. He bets 20. I don't necessarily really know if I like that bet. Gus is going to call. I mean, I guess if you're just going to fire once and then just give up.
Yeah.
King 6 folds, Dave. There you go. He didn't have a club in his hand, I don't think.
That's the problem really with playing a hand like that out of the small blind. You just have no idea where you're at.
Boston's got a red open-ended straight draw with 3 clubs on board. I think he's pretty much good enough to get away from this. He does.
The bottom end of it as well.
Yeah.
Because if a jack were to come out, anybody with a queen would have a higher straight.
And here we go to the river. Eric is in the hand here with 8-9. The river's a 4th club.
Yeah, Gus makes the flush, jack eye flush.
Yep.
And he looks like he's going to bet it.
I had 7.
Yeah, Eric had 8-9 there. It was in the hand in seat 1.
Yeah, Gus was reaching for chips, and Eric
Yeah.
folded before he can even put a bet out there.
Well, that is going to do it for us tonight. Thank you all for joining us again.
I want to thank Kenneth James for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Kenneth James. And, hopefully he'll be in the game, but hopefully not. He'll still be in the tournament. However way you want to look at it, tomorrow's going to be huge. We got a $1,000 no-limit tournament here, Winning in the Green. If you want to check that out, come on down, Bell Gardens. And it's going to be $25.50, $3,000 minimum, unrestricted buy-in game. White chips and $1,000
Flying
chips
around.
all over the table. So for everyone here in the booth, I'm Bart Hanson, and for Dave Tuckman, good night, everybody, from Live at the Bike.
It's here. It's big. And it's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the Bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.